welcome to Level Sync, a Final Fantasy XI podcast with your hosts, DA Soccer, Caladrius, Lost Time Lord, Ayame Cat, and Quetch.
Meowdy! And welcome to another episode of Level Sync, a Final Fantasy XI Horizon podcast. My name's Ayame, and we have our other hosts here. How are you today, Cal?
Doing all right.
DA?
Living 6 feet up.
Quetch?
Doing all right. Chilling.
And LTL?
Not as good as David Anderson, but I'm doing all right. Doing a bit of all right.
Dude, it's 15 seconds in, bro.
The awesome soccer.
Whatever, David Anderson soccer. Don't talk to me. You don't know me.
You don't pay my stub.
We have an exciting episode today, but first, we gotta ask, what you been up to? What you been up to, Cal?
Well, we just helped Cloudy get his Joy Toy. So Sir Cloud now has a Joy Toy.
How long of a camp?
Fun. I think we were there for like 2.5 hours.
Wow,
Maybe.
you got lucky. I don't need to tell you that, but you know you got lucky.
Yeah, no, it's the fourth one we camped, yeah.
Considering some of the other times we've been there and how long we had to wait.
You
Better
missed
than
it
Alfie.
7 hour. Well, at least, Tribdis is only at 100% drop rate for a Joy Toy, so no matter what you do, you get it. As long as you get claim.
And
then,
win.
Yeah, and win. We did it with no summoners this time. Just
Nice.
melee and 2 red mages. We got Sith his minstrel's body.
Yeah.
And then we got
Is that Dynamis? What is that?
No,
No.
it's a drop off of Sahagan and Sea Serpent's Grotto.
Okay.
Like Nove the White-Hearted or something like that.
And then we got Soren his Phantom Thallium, which was easy. Ayame still needs hers.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that before we started recording.
Yeah.
Things a
And
pain.
then a whole bunch of Sky Farms. I think I've been in Sky like 4 days this week. Also finished War Merits. My War's fully merited now. Everything's done. All the Strength Merits, everything.
Strength as
So-
well, you madman.
Yeah, I finished the Strength
What?
Merits in a day.
In a
I was on,
day.
I was on the 9 Strength Merits. I merited till 6 a.m., dude.
Talking
Fuck,
about that
dude.
forever.
What?
Yeah, because I had just started the 9-point merits, right? And so I got all 3 of those? Yesterday. Into today.
It makes sense how you keep that deep, sexy voice. It's because you never sleep.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm in between jobs at the moment. I have plenty of time to do it.
That's it, man. In between jobs to get
So-
that 20K an hour.
Hell, one of the parties was like well over 20k. Like, we took a break and it was still sitting at 2 merit points for a good 15 minutes. And then it finally went away. But yeah,
Was that the
that's all I've
party?
been up to.
Was that the party I was in with you?
No, it was the one me and Sith were in Murphta.
Oh, you guys had double bards, right?
Yeah, we had Dumbledore and somebody else on board.
What spot?
The Murphta Mountains, the Raptors, and the Flies. It's not bad.
I tried to
little-
pull
little
there
camp.
before. It was awful. But I don't know. It's probably better if you have like 2 bards, I guess. What you been up to, DA?
I complained last episode about not having any assistance or help getting Sandoria done. And of course, as soon as Bastok becomes 3rd place and doesn't have any fucking outposts, I finished Sandoria. I immediately spent my 250k conquest points and bought 4 Akatons or whatever, and put 1 just for style lock, 1 for the Juno trade, and put 2 in my bazaar for selling, and then realized, shit, I don't have enough to buy the chairs. So now I'll go back to it. I'll be back to Sandy eventually, but I am already rank 5 in Bastok, and working my way through that. I'll also, as soon as I completed 9-2, I was like, finally, about time. I went back to my samurai, I threw my flag up, and immediately I saw a shout for Divine Might and joined in and knocked out DM as well. And I got the Bushu Mimimi earring ready to rock and roll on there with the Great Axe skill as well as the Great Katana. I have a 71 Sam, so 1 more level, and I'll be able to pop that on. And 4 more levels, and I can switch to Beastmaster. So it's been a lot of missions, getting outposts, just pain in the ass because I'm used to being spoiled with all the outposts and the navigation that I have. But I haven't done too much else. Still looking for my regen staff from HNMs. And I officially have an XML file that I set up for my Legacy AC for my staves because people harass me, but don't tell anybody in my link shell because I still style lock the black staff, the Apollo staff or whatever. I still style lock it, and I haven't told any of them that I actually have Lewis set up underneath it. So it's been absolutely, it's been wonderful. So going through those codings, messing around with that stuff, getting up and running.
I was hover
Proud of
zooming
you.
your stream when you were in Dynamis, and you like because you have the equipment up, you can see your shit swapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
so
good
it does exist, and I don't know if it's working right, but I know that something's happening.
His
This
gear
motherfucker
is
came in my
swapping.
stream. He came in my stream just to check and see if it was true. He didn't.
No, I didn't even
fucking-
come in. I was hover zooming, like I was using the add-on to hover zoom, and so that I could watch without you knowing I was there judging you.
I came in his stream and asked if there was like a blood moon or a fucking eclipse or the second coming.
Or pigs
I
that
told you.
suddenly started to grow wings. Yeah.
Once I hit 75, then I look into doing that. If I look into doing that, I've been 75 white mage for about 6 months now, so it's about time I got it up and running.
Yeah. Especially if you're in a Dynamis zone because there's double dark weather, and if you are unfortunate enough to land on Dark Stay and have, you said the HQ stave, right? The staff?
Oh yeah.
You have the,
Yeah, I
that's
don't care.
minus 15%. So
I'm aware.
that's like hella
aware.
minus any of your cures.
Cure
I would-
one
I
for
would just
10
regen
health.
them. I just regen them. So
That's a light magic spell that also is minus for that. So
I
Is it
don't
light?
think regen isn't affected by.
it's a
Just-
light spell.
Is it not
I'm
It's not
pretty
affected
sure.
by the staff.
enhancing
I
magic?
will put money on it.
I don't think it's
What
affected
do you
by
mean
the
it's not a
staff.
staff? Really?
Yeah.
Just how
Yeah.
much you get on a regen tick, like take into account how much plus healing you have. 'Cause
No,
if it
I think
doesn't-
it's
'cause
enhancing.
If it doesn't, then minus healing doesn't matter.
Staff, the body, and one other item affect regen, I believe. Not the staff from HNMs, not the staff of HQ's normal colors,
Right.
those elemental staffs.
Wow.
So it does not affect
So
regen.
you never cast cure whenever there's
No, it's
a
their fault
ninja
if they
that
took that much.
explo-
If they're
if
gonna
there's
die,
a ninja that explodes, you don't use Curaga and you never use cure.
I have
is what I'm
one
hearing.
macro. It's called regen, and when I hit it, it'll always cast regen 3. And if I hit it again immediately, it'll cast regen 2. And if I hit it again immediately, it'll cast regen 1. They're gonna
He's
live off
lying.
regen.
Guys,
I
this is
actually
progress.
watched him run in and Curaga people when they took a ninja hit. That
Sir,
exact
that-
thing happened, and I watched you run in and Curaga.
When?
I also watched you run back to raise 3 somebody who was already being raised 3'd by somebody else, but you ran back like you were gonna do it.
I was.
you're-
I wanted to
I
show
know.
initiative, but that's
Yeah,
the only
well-
Dynamis run. That was my first Dynamis that you saw me with the Legacy AC. Have you
I'm
watched
just
one
saying-
without it?
I'm just saying you're lying. That's all.
Let me
Yeah,
let me
I'm
get
saying
people to
you're
hate me,
bullshit.
okay?
I don't
Move
know.
on-
LPL.
move on to
somebody
You
else.
were just
Move on to
hovering.
somebody
I
else.
don't know if you could see what was going on, you know?
Helicopter mom, get off my dick. All right.
Move on to you, Quetch. What you've been up to, man?
Speaking of white mage, mine is almost 41. I did high wind just before joining you guys here in Discord.
One more level. One more level.
That's it. And then I can tell you to Altep to go digging. That's it.
Did you say that's it? You don't want to do any more white mage after that?
No.
No?
I mean,
No?
okay, honestly, I don't mind white mage. It's a really potent job.
Mhm.
I just in terms of support, I think I don't know if I said this last show or not, but my plan is to finish manned out and then pick either red mage or bard. Because it works for them, and I'd rather put like inventory space and like, you know, focus leveling for like one of those jobs. That way I can get that dual triple use even maybe one day from bothering to make the relic. So white mage is just going to be for chocobo digging. But it's been super helpful. I brought it out the last ore session and could telly dem and hollow myself and like search for weather. So like, and then warp home. Like it's been really useful just having at the 40. So I did that. Let's see. Speaking of Mandau, I have turned in my Dynamis currency for the first 2 stages. I now own a Dynamis dagger, which is 20 hundreds out of the full 1,550. So it's only a small portion of it, but yeah, guys, 20 currencies turned in, so now I'm quote unquote committed. I guess I could still back out now, but
No.
that's only like 16 mil.
Only.
Huh. But yeah, still plugging away at that. That's where a lot of my playtime is right now. But I guess the last thing I have like written down. I mean, I've been playing a lot, so like God, I know I missed something here or there. But also we got another Nidhogg kill this last week, and I finally got the end legs, Neptunal Abjuration legs. Yeah, so
Nice.
5 out of 5. I haven't made them yet because they're so rare. Like you only get like one like a month maybe if you're like in a shell that's actually fighting those things. And so I'm just gonna hold out till I can get an HQ, but that's like a 6 mil item. So it's gonna be like, do I put that guild towards Mandau or do I like buy that item and get it off my bucket list? I don't know. We'll see as time goes, but I'm sitting on the abjuration right now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a bunch of decks.
Right. LTL. What you
Nothing
been up to?
nothing about Dynatab. You're not even going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's
none of us
actually a
have
good
been able to
point.
get in because your link shell keeps running it.
Wait a
so let us
second.
know how it is.
Our link,
Can't you from twice?
huh? What's that, DA?
Can't you just run twice, like a week?
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just.
lockout?
It was only
They-
one time. We were trying to run it on
Oh.
Sunday, and demo was already set up, and we weren't going to fight for it. So.
Yeah.
You got
We let
stream
you guys
sniped without
promote it.
the stream.
No, there was no. I mean, they were standing there waiting, very, very politely. I wasn't gonna even try to get in there above them. You know what I mean? So we went somewhere else. It was just I was making a joke. I mean,
Let me start
I
some
have no
beef,
idea
man.
how often they run it. With demo? No, that's like the last link shell I'd want to start beef with.
I was
Too many cool people in there. There's other
So-
link shells I'd start beef with, but
Well, so we did. Well, I did Tav. I wasn't in the Sundays, the Sunday that they were doing. I did Friday, the day it dropped. And there's a VOD. People have been asking about this because there's not a lot of info out there about Tav, or not many people have been able to like stream it or do it or been that successful with it yet. We had a pretty good run on Friday, and again, the VOD is on my YouTube channel. If anybody's like, hey, I want to look at some strat before I go in. Shilling aside, we went in, we had a pretty clean run up to the boss, and then there's this gauntlet that you have to do. You have to get past the different Diaboloses that are like fake ones, and then the amount of them that you aggro is the amount you fight for the end boss fight. So I guess am I the only one who's been in? You guys the 3 of you are in the same shell. DA, you haven't tried running it yet, right?
No.
We got 3. We only had 1, and then by the end, by the time everybody else got through, we had 3, and we had to fight all 3 at once, and we just got swamped and killed. And they just cast death and charm, and it's a wreck. I'm excited to
is there
hear
any
when
way
you guys
to
get a chance. To play.
successfully avoid those things during the gauntlet? Like, what's the deal with that? I don't remember this in
Okay.
retail because I've only run it in retail, and that was a long time ago.
So there's a hallway that leads to the final fight room.
Mhm.
And you need to have everybody basically, because sneak and invis don't work, you have to have everybody just dodge the line of sight of, so I guess sneak doesn't matter, but like if they see you, they'll aggro you and disappear. You need to have all 18 people get through that hallway and get to the main room. And then you need to aggro one of them because you need to fight a boss. So at least one of them needs to be like aggroed and fought.
Right.
But basically, if you have bad movement of the Diabolos, you might get more than one.
I see.
Yeah.
So
So
everybody has to play the kind of like the equivalent almost to the egg things, the butt plugs in C that spin around with the eye on them, and like
What?
people have to make it past.
I just heard eggs and butt plugs.
We
I was
call
thinking
them-
hot and cold game.
There's a lot of people in
can't
the
be seen.
show that call them butt plugs, so I'm used to calling them butt plugs.
you're like,
I
it's
think
not just
looks
me,
more
guys.
like a suppository, if anything. But But some people say it's a butt plug, so I don't know. I mean, I'll just
And
go
it's
with
not-
it. I'll go with
It's
it.
not
All right,
Dragon
I'm
Ball
rolling
Z
with it.
style.
I'm rolling with it.
It's not Dragon Ball Z where they split into 3 characters and it cuts their health down in thirds, so it's 3 weaker versions of it. It's like a full version of
It
each
is
that you
actually.
aggro.
Yeah, the more
it
you
is?
aggro, it cuts their total health. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not like proportionate to the number of aggro you aggro, but it is a bigger portion the more you aggro.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So if you have to kill more than one, do you get loot from more than one?
No, once you kill the final one, that is when loot drops.
Okay.
Yeah, so good luck when y'all go in. It's a really kind of fun little compact zone. You get a lot of the Hydra gear. It's very generous. I'm talking like 5+ pieces from a little 2-hour stint. So a lot of people get a lot on stuff. It's like generally it's actually a pretty generous zone. It's just you don't get a lot of coins and stuff. So you want like maybe link shell funded rather than your normal split. Or figure out some way to do it. But
That sounds like somebody with bad movement would piss off your link shell.
Genuinely, you can't help but feel like,
This son of a bitch.
You
Can't
son
you
of a
just
bitch.
run straight?
Yeah.
You've been playing this. This game's been out for 21 fucking years.
Yeah, you play a little bit of a little bit of a game. It's a gamble getting to it, and then it's a gamble winning, and that's just kind of the zone. That's the whole trick.
I'm kind of happy it
Right.
doesn't drop as much currency. I've
Well,
been selling.
I felt we would have been remiss to not hear about the Dynamis Tavnazian
No.
exploits.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. It's way more exciting than anything that I've done. Although we are kind of doing a new thing now, and we ran our first HNM as a group last week, and we did the carbs, and we totally got a fucking belt.
Nice.
And yeah, we got the belt and the Black Mage ring and the Warrior garbage ring. I think we even got a cloth.
Got
Didn't
a
we get
D-cloth,
Yeah.
Wow.
But we did get a belt, and so Snoochie Booch, congratulations on the owner of very own E-belt. Well,
Redneck speed belt.
Sprinters
Redneck
belt, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's what it's called. Yeah. So we did that. We did because we didn't get onto the calendar for this month. We ran a Valkyrie on Sunday, and I finally got my Black Mage to 6 of 6, as well as some other people in the link shell who've been looking for it for much longer time than me.
Yeah, we got like 5 black
A
mage
lot of
belts.
black.
Ooh.
So check this out. So 4 people in the link shell needed the Black Mage belt, and 4 of them exactly dropped.
And then
And,
poor Soren wants one for his once it hits 75, and not another one dropped after the 4 actual
Well,
black mages.
yeah, I mean that sucks. I wish more would have dropped, but for the current population, it wound up being pretty good. And I also got the -1 hat, which I turned into the +1. So now I'm 3 of 5 or +1s of relic stuff. Need to get into Tav to get that fucking leg and body, and I'll +1 them, even if it's not better. I don't give a fuck. Like the hat didn't do shit. I think the hat gave me like 2 fucking MP or 3 MP for the +1. Didn't do shit. I was like, fuck it. I like that white box. So I did it. So I'm white boxed on that, and yeah. Other than that, not a ton. Some really successful sky farms. I know that Cal kind of mentioned that a little bit, but like really successful. When you're going up there and just bullshitting and having fun with a bunch of people who don't really need to be told what to do, like it's pretty awesome to just go up there and kind of get a ton of stuff. And yeah, we did so for Sith got his subduer. I don't want to take thunder from you if you were going to mention this, but Sith got his subduer.
I was gonna.
You are? Then go ahead for it. No, Ayame, you go now. You talk about it.
I should show.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the sky part where we got the 2 diorite.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Is it gonna show that? You see that? Those are all 5s for every weapon skill.
Yeah, no, you're going to talk about it too. All right, so cool. I'm done. I'm done.
Freaking kept track for him. Okay.
Physical notepad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we because how else you're gonna keep track? Until I found out today from Sir Cloud, he said there's like a tracker or whatever that you could have for like weapon skills or whatever. It's like
An
I wish I knew
add-on?
about that, like
Yeah,
an
there's an
add-on. I
add-on.
was like,
Oh man.
would have been useful a few days ago. Yeah. But yeah, what I've been up to, we got that subduer for Sith. We were trying to also get destroyers, so Einhander got a subduer, Sith got a subduer from Tomain's drop. He was trying to get destroyers. He didn't get any, unfortunately.
Oh,
we were
rough.
doing BCNMs or yeah, we were doing those. And we also did
Treasures
no,
and
those were
Tribulations.
KSNMs. Yeah, then we did the treasures and tribulations, and that
Yeah.
was we were not successful with that. There was
No.
6 of us that did it, and no one got a sorcerer's ring, and there was only 1 minstrel ring. And Soren got it. Soren has been lucky lately, I think.
Yeah, I wanted my Sork ring real bad. Don't want to pay for it, but at least I got an Astral. I got an Astral for my efforts. Cal got an Astral too.
Mm-hmm.
I got an
Cal
Astral.
didn't even get to
and-
lot his.
How's
I
that?
know, right?
How's that to get something useful?
Man, I mean, it was better. It was good. I know you're
I
dropped.
didn't even make 900 gil. 900, okay? Not even 1,000, not even 900 gil from those runs, and I was there that whole time. I was like, this is awful. These runs were awful. Although
they
you
were
got a lot of
tiny.
exercise. You got a
Yeah.
lot of exercise.
My tiny little Taru legs ran a lot.
Because he was on Black Mage, they're like, no. You stay in here. You escape us.
I had to
You had
escape
to
and then
keep
run
running.
back all the way through Gideus every time.
Sorry. And the first time he was poisoned, I left the area and I was like, oh,
I almost
was
died.
really poisoned.
Thankfully, Cal's like bard regen song kept us alive. Otherwise, we would have both died.
you said it was like 10 HP
It
per
was
tick
10
or
a tick,
something
and my
from.
regen is 11,
from the
so
Mimic?
it barely kept us alive for 5 minutes while running.
Did you guys get lucky and get the chest like without having to fight?
A few times.
2 of
yeah.
them.
Twice.
2 out of 5. 2 out of
Mine
6.
and Sir Cloud.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Clouds.
average then, yeah.
Mhm.
And then I have a pretty good screenshot of LTL inside the treasure chest.
And then
'Cause
they
it did
ate-
draw
he ate
in.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should send that
Do you want me to put it over
Quetch
top
so
of the
that he
video?
can see it.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
It's actually pretty good.
All right.
It's because
Take
freaking
notes.
the draw-in. You know how there's draw-in
Yeah.
when you get hate from the Mimic? Oh, he was definitely drawn in.
But he didn't even move, he just stood inside of it casting on it while he was standing inside
Yeah,
of it.
because if I tried to move even like 2 yalms away, like it would draw me right back in. It just kept fucking sucking me in.
Nom nom nom.
Using suck on me, and I hated it.
Don't lie.
LTL's like, I'm the one that uses suck. I am the one who sucks.
I am the one who sucks. Exactly.
Yes. But yeah, we broke that subduer. We did the Kindred Seal Notorious Monster stuff, the BCNMs. We did that HNM and got the sprinters. I finally got to go / Dark Knight for that, by the way. Me and Zexamir were on rotation for stunning that. Okay. Only 2 of us. We did a good job. He kept calling it out when it was my turn. You know what? I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Zexamir.
Did you guys just have 2 stunners?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Just
It
the
it
2
went
red
really
mages.
well.
We always bring
We even
extra.
we had 4 black mages there that in case there was an oopsie moment, but
Gotcha.
they did well. Yeah.
I died.
I died too.
I steel cyclone the bruiser crab too hard, and there was no one between me and it when I sat at it. And it 100 fisted and 1600 HP went fast.
Mhm.
Throw up Defender. Take off Berserk.
Nah, I ain't about that life.
I know warriors typically need to be reminded of that.
No, I don't even think it was up at the time. I don't think I had Aggressor or Berserk up whenever it just turned around and beat the hell out of me. All I saw was Cloud go invincible, and the crab went, nah. I want him. And just beat me into the ground.
You hit him too hard.
Alchemy is a little more tender.
It was like a 1650. So yeah, that's probably make it angry.
Dang. I have one more thing on my little list, my small list. I got Nishira's Krakows. Krakows? However you say the little feats.
The
I got
feats.
those ones.
Crack house?
Nishira's
crack
house.
Krakows?
Naomi lives in a
hole.
crack house now. Yes, she has a crack house.
I got a Nishira crack house.
Sir, the
Congratulations.
politically correct term is a trap house.
Nashira's trap
Oh,
house.
no. Oh, goodness. They look so cute. I have them style locked because I like them so much. But other than that, everybody's been up to a lot of stuff lately. Very nice. And we were talking about some Sky Farm, and today's episode is about Sky. Are you guys so excited? We're going to talk about Sky.
Ecstatic.
I'm so
Sky's fun.
excited.
It's so classic.
What is
Love Sky.
what is Sky? Hold on.
I really enjoy
I'm
Sky.
gonna read a little part where it describes Sky. This is from the FFXiclopedia, which most of my information is from. Maybe don't use that site though because it is very heavy and it takes up a lot of memory. I'm just saying. So for Sky, it says part of the floating island of Tulia, constructed 10,000 years ago by the Zillard as the Gate of the Gods. This is said to be the very entrance to paradise itself. The Ruan Gardens make up the exterior of Tulia, an array of floating islands worn by time and overgrown with moss. Referred to as Sky by many adventurers, the gardens are home to the Shijin, divine guardians of the cardinal directions, and a number of other monsters. And how to access it, you need to complete a mission called the Gate of the Gods, and there's also a quick teleportation mission that you could do. You specifically, Cal, called When Angels Fall.
Yeah. I just
Come
showed
on.
45 minutes early.
But what if you need to change your sub job?
I don't.
I still need to do that
Just
mission.
refuse.
What's the name of it again?
When
the shortcut up to
Angels
Sky?
Fall.
Okay.
When Angels Fall.
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. I'll do it. The realization that DA hasn't done it has inspired me to go do it now.
I'll race you there. Yeah, and it's ZM13, the Gate of the Gods. It's right after a pot fight. It's the pot fight in the Quicksand Caves. Once you do that, that is ZM12, and then you get a cutscene for ZM13. That'll get you the you said Tulia? Is that how I'm pronouncing it today?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, sweet. We're gonna roll with that. And you also get 5 Mog wardrobe slots at that same time on Horizon. So highly recommend if you don't have Sky access, go ahead and knock those out. It's a little bit of running around and such, but it's not too bad to be able to get ZM12 done because 13 is just a cutscene, and then you got Sky access, and then you can knock out when Angels Fall before I even get it.
It's really easy, you guys.
I
It
just
is.
keep forgetting.
And it's a good area to party in. What's the sweet spot? Is it 61 or
63?
62?
63.
That warp, by the
63.
way, is only available if you've gotten to COP, if you've gotten through to Tavnazia.
Well, you have to be at
No.
the one where
You
you
have to be
climb
through
the
C.
race towers. You have to climb up the tower of your race, and then when you get
right.
like you have to go up your own race's tower, with the you do that one, but then like make sure that when you do the quest or like when you try to get the teleport, the important thing, and it says it in the quest description, but the important thing for that is that you have to have the title. Like your
Correct.
character has to be wearing the correct title to get the access to Sky from the teleporter when you turn it in.
What was
If
the
you-
title again? Warrior of Light or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Final
yeah,
Fantasy
yeah.
14?
Yeah, you're the
Something
Warrior of Light.
of light. Yeah.
You can change your title if you've done it in the past, though, over
Yes.
without having to reclimb, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
what you
You
do.
just
Yeah.
have to know which one. But it's one of the bards in the cities that'll change it for you.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So the basic Sky navigation is a big circular map. Ruan Gardens is a big circular map. So that's where you get to after that mission. It just plops you right on one of the first islands, and it's a series of interconnected floaty islands that have teleporters in between each section. And in order to take a teleporter, you have to hit the pincer stone that's on the way. It'll light up, and then you walk over to the teleporter and take that to the next island. If you ever see that the pincer is already on and you're trying to get to the porter for the next island, 100% of the time, by the time you get there, it will have disappeared.
That's so true. I fucking hate it. It pisses me off so much. Oh, it's on. Should I wait? Do I need to? Is it gonna go? No, you know what? I can make it. And by the time you get all the way over there, it's off, and you're like, son of a bitch.
It's better when you run up and you watch the light fade, and you're like, if I hadn't stopped and thought about it,
Yes.
I would have made it.
Yes, that's not entirely true. It is time based from when the pincer is hit, but people that run up before you, it's just the timing thing that happens to everybody. So those different teleporters will take you to the different sections, and that's where we're going to find the various gods and other NMs we're going to be talking about today. But in addition to Ruan Gardens being that sort of outer island area, you also have the Shrine of Ravito in the middle, and that is its own different way of navigating, but that also involves pincer stones that are yellow and blue, and the blue one opens blue doors and closes yellow doors, and the yellow one opens yellow doors and closes blue doors. And basically, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, about the sky navigation in this video, and show a map as well. But you should know that, learning these things is, a lot of people will reference maps and whatnot along the way, but that's the basic gist and overall of Sky.
Do we want to move on to the first monsters that you must fight in order to fight one of the lesser gods?
What about the Archangels?
Let's talk about the Archangel. Yeah.
So, as you're doing ZM missions, you'll hit a mission called Archangels. That's obviously after the Gate of the Gods quest. Now, you have an option here. You can either A, fight each one individually with Archangels, or B, do what's called Divine Might. Divine Might's the preferred method because you just fight them all at once. It's a lot less of a pain in the ass than doing each one individually. And the fight's pretty easy. Like, it wasn't bad. I think the only person that died during ours was who? Dratha? I think, on his poor little, level 70 Beastmaster.
Yeah, I think he died twice.
He's a Tauru, he had it coming.
Individually, it's 6 man, and all at once, it's 18. It's full alliance, right?
Yeah, it's a full alliance. You
Okay.
can bring an entire alliance in with you. It's a really simple fight. You have to farm up the, what is that item called in order to enter?
Arc Pentasphere.
Arc Pentasphere. You have to farm up the items for that. All that's listed in the BG Wiki. If you do Moongate EXP parties for merits, you will have an overabundance of a thing called Illuminate Ink, which is one of the items needed to make that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a pretty simple fight. You also get your earring after completing Divine Might. Once you go back and click the, is it an altar in the main entrance to Ruavet or whatever?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
You
that.
click
it's
it,
The
one
you
of
get to
stone in the
pick
middle.
you get to pick the Seppanomimi, the Bushinomimi, and whatever the other ones are that nobody cares about.
Oh,
I don't
You're
even
just
remember.
pretty fucking
Nightly?
awesome. Shut up.
that's shame.
Nightly and
Nightly and
Beastly?
there's another.
Beastly.
Beastly, that's it. Sorry, I mean Warrior and Bard. I don't care about that. But yeah, so you finish that, you get your earrings. You have access now. That allows you to do pretty much whatever you want in Sky at that point. I don't think there's anything else barring you from doing anything. I hope you really like pincers, because that's not the only pincers in Sky. So enjoy. But yeah, that's Archangels. It's pretty simple, easy fight.
Well, the Archangels themselves, there's 5 different ones, and
Yeah,
the first
one
one...
of each race.
Yeah, there's one of each race. The first one is Archangel Hume, who is a ninja plus warrior. He wields 2 swords, uses mighty strikes, and can Mijin Gakure, which means he can explode. Then there's Archangel Taru, which is a black mage plus dark knight, which is horrifying if that was the thing.
He
that
floats
actually do.
around.
He floats around.
Teleports.
And he's got a
Uses
giant
mana font
scythe.
and blood weapon, yeah, and is a nasty motherfucker. There's Archangel Mithra, who is a thief beast that can use perfect dodge and charm. So that one's fun.
She's got a nasty
Then
weapon
there's-
skill of some sort too, if I recall.
Yeah, Havoc Spiral.
There.
Does 100 to 300 damage plus sleep and weight, which is that's a lot of fun. Then there's Archangel Elvon, who is a paladin plus white mage, which is horrifying. Uses Dominion Slash. 200 to 300 damage and silence, and can also dispel your buffs, which is great. Does shield strike too. And then last but certainly not least is the Archangel Galka, who is a dragoon and samurai, a great katana, moves quickly, has 14,000 HP with a 12 HP tick regen, uses Meikyo, which is the samurai 2-hour, and can use, let's see, so when he uses Meikyo, he likes to Yukikaze Gecko Kasha, which will pretty much end anyone that he gets that off on that 3-step skill chain. It's a lot
I
of
think
fun.
that's what killed Dratha.
I'm pretty sure, it doesn't surprise me. But he also has Call Wyvern, so he has a Wyvern that you have to kill as well. Got Zanshin. Dragonfall is his weapon skill with 100 to 300 damage with blind. And he can cast it from a rather great distance. And they're really cool looking because they're all kind of like, they're in color, but they look like they're black and white, and it's awesome. And they're some of my favorite. Like in retail, you can get those as companions or like your trusts. And those are really, I mean, they're not useful really necessarily. Archangel EV is a really good tank. You can use EV as a tank in retail, but the rest of them aren't really that useful. But it's cool to have them out, just to have them with you so you can look at them. I've always liked those guys a lot.
Despite everything LTL read off, it is a pretty easy fight. Though.
It is an easy fight, but yeah, I feel like, you know, they're so unique and cool characters in the game that like they deserved their own, like, you know, we have to talk about each one because they're super cool. I hope that people enjoy them as much as I do. I like those
I do like the tar, and I
Yeah,
don't
Tar.
even like tars.
I use the Elven all the time.
I was gonna say the Elvon, that it's a lady. It's a tall thickie. I like her. Did you want to talk about the sky teleport some more, LTL?
Yeah, so you know, basically when we navigate Sky, we've almost made this like there's two things that we've almost made kind of mandatory for us running Sky. One of them is a map pack that we have that we use that helps get through with like the updated maps, and they have guidelines on it. But above and beyond modifications to the game or add-ons, we have a map that we typically use that's online based. It's a web page, you can go and look at it. And in all of the years that I've been playing Final Fantasy XI, including this recent, you know, sprint through Horizon here, I have found personally that this website that I'm sure Fletch is going to post the image of, and let's, even if we can, let's get a link
Yeah,
to
I'll
the
take a note.
website in the episode notes or whatever, or information. But it's at enadin.be, sky.png. So feel free to use this. It's what I use all the time. I feel like in all of my years of playing and trying to understand and decipher maps from various BG Wiki or FFX Cyclopedia, this is the best. You know, I have sucked this map's dick for months, and I try to make sure that like everyone knows that it's like the best and that they need to use it. I'm not afraid to admit that I get on my knees for a map. It's fucking awesome. Like this shit rules. So I definitely recommend that you check it out. Like, so if you look at the map along with me, down at the bottom at 6 o'clock on the map is where it denotes the Hall of the Gods, and that's where you enter Sky from. As you run up, you can see, like, as you go north from that very 6 o'clock position, you can see that you're running through, like, up to the very beginning of Sky. So, like, you know, when you use the teleporter to get onto land, where you land is just above, like, the very lowest 6 o'clock part. Now, when you want to get to any particular thing in Sky, unfortunately, it still requires, obviously, a lot of, like, running from island to island. You know, in Horizon, they don't have the teleport crystals where you can teleport to which island you want to go to and get to places much more quickly. You have to run there just like the old days, which, you know, I prefer. More unique, more, you know, era and really authentic. But like when you look, as you look at the map, so follow me if you can for a second on this map. You'll notice that, you know, where you start, Hall of Gods, you come up, like you're at the very bottom there, right? Just above where it says Brigandish Blade. Where the little yellow line that's headed north from the very bottom ends. You go straight through the alley where it says Despot, What that means is that as you're running through there, all those statues that are in the side walls is where you can spawn Despot. Pretty simple, right? The easiest one to get to. I think we'll all agree. But as you run even more forward or more north from there, and you take a right at the end of the Despot hallway there, you'll notice that just to the north of where you're running, you start running east, and just to the north of that, you'll notice that there's an entrance that is like a blue pathway, right? This is the route to Mother Globe. I'm not going to go through every single pathway to every single like god in every pop here, but I want you to help. I want to try and help you because a lot of people look at this map and they're like, "What the fuck, LTL? What am I looking at? Like, I don't understand this fucking map." So I'm going to try and help. It's not super intuitive if you don't know what you're looking at. So I'm just trying to like help people to understand what they're looking at. So as you get past the Despot hallway and you turn to the right or to the east, and you run forward a bit, you keep running east, you'll notice that up to the north, there's a blue entranceway. Like I said, that's the path to Mother Globe. Now, luckily, this website has a built-in, like the only thing you can click on here is a magnifying glass to make it bigger, right? So you click on that spot, and you can see, as you run in, all you have to do is follow the path that's outlined in blue, and it will take you all the way to Mother Globe, or you can stop at the Olla Grande, Pequeño, whatever they have there, to fight for the waters. But you run up the blue, it takes you to the mid. The arrow points at the top there to where mid is. And when you get to mid, it's going to have two options. And one of the coolest things about this map is you'll notice now as you're looking at the mid area that you teleport to, there's blue and yellow dots, which denote a pincer stone that you can click to open the yellow or blue doors. And there's also lines that are in yellow and blue that show you what color door is going to be in your way. So you follow this map from the mid, you're going to head south into the O/M room. There's a teleporter in there. You use that, and you see the arrow that's in blue that points up to the thing that's just at like the 1 o'clock position from there. That's where you wind up next. And from there, you use the only thing that you can do in that room is a teleporter. So you run to the teleporter there. And then that one points to where you're going to go. And it lands, you're heading onto the one that's marked east. So it lands you at one marked east, which is just down from there at about the 5 o'clock position on the other side on this like right side of the map. And the interesting thing is that these teleporters can lead you to one of 3 locations. They're all on the same map, but it's one of 3. You'll see that there's 3 things marked east. That's just one of the 3 places that using the teleporter marked east will lead you to. Regardless of where you land on this part, you need to head to the O, because you're heading to Oya. So O, you're going to head to the west through, if you're all the way on the far east of this map and you head to the west, you'll go through 1 yellow door and 2 blue doors. Luckily, on these maps, you can open your own doors. The most important thing to remember while you're running through here, I think I should have probably said this before, is that the only thing you're going to need is sneak. But there's a lot of things in here that will magic aggro. In fact, everything up here fucking magic aggros. So make sure you have sneak oils, or you're very, crafty when it comes to casting your sneak and you get away with things. Be very sneaky. Yeah, I was going to say that, but I felt like maybe I was overstating the sneak factor.
I fear you're underestimating the sneakiness, sir.
So then you head all the way to the west, go down south to the O, and then it lands you directly above that map, and it shows you where the M is. That's the way up to Mother Globe. Or you can go where it says Oya. There's a little circle with a blue dot because there's a blue door opener in there as well. It's pretty simple to follow once you understand what you're looking at. Hopefully that helps a little bit when you look at this map. But again, I cannot overstate the usefulness of this particular website. Kudos to the creator. Your vision is fantastic. I hope that maybe this gets you a few more hits. It's an amazing map and an amazing website in general, because there are other things on there that are fantastic. I highly recommend checking it out and using it. That's what I got for the advanced.
A little Easter egg with this episode. If you rewind and listen to any part of the last 10 minutes, you can hear LTL get erect.
Sounds like wood rubbing together.
A slide whistle.
He loves that fucking map.
I wish I had one.
LPL is right though. You really do need to bring sneak oils. I'm a red mage main and I bring sneak oils. Okay. Because I don't want to die to a weapon. They're everywhere.
Fair warning also, if you're gonna go up there, bring like 2 or 3 stacks.
Yep.
Just in case.
Some of my favorite memories in that zone is just a train of those mobs chasing your LS, and the doors are closed at the wrong times or open at the wrong times. People are trying to sleep and cure and run and kite and take hate and get out to this next place they're going to.
It's the meme. Let me in! Let me in!
Yeah.
As a side
It
note
is.
to that, Quetch, on some of them you can screw each other over by opening blue and yellow to try and get across. So like your buddy opens blue, goes to run through, you hit yellow, it closes blue, opens yellow for you, and now you're stuck. So you can have what I call dueling dipshits. So Tomaine and Snooch stood there opening the doors and closing the doors on each other for like 20 minutes and yelling at whoever was closing the door, not realizing it was one of the two of them.
They didn't say anything. They were just both on like a pincer and just spamming it. And then finally, like one of them said something after like several minutes. And they're like, fuck this person who keeps touching the blue one. It's like, that's me. And it's like, are you touching the yellow one? Yeah. That's me. It's like, what the fuck, you guys? Why?
I love it. The worst part about when you're doing like that too is you hit your own pincer and you try to run to the next door, and the other person did the same thing, and they're coming back from their door and they close it on you. So you go back to your pincer and you close it on them.
Seeing it close right in your fucking face
Every time,
and you're
dude.
just like, no!
Because they're the same distance from their door as you are from your door.
All right, so I'll kick us off with some of the wonderful things to actually kill up in Sky. We've been talking all about the navigation and the sights to be seen up there and how to be able to access it. But I'm going to start with Oya. I say Allah, but I mean, I'm wrong on everything I say. So Oya, I call it the Russian doll. The reason it's a Russian doll is because it's got like a triple pop on it. But let me talk about how to be able to pop it in the first place, because he was giving you navigation to it. There are aura pots up there that have about a 1.5-2% drop rate on a Remov water. And that is the key, the actual item you need to be able to trade to a question mark to pop this pot. Once you pop the pot, it is Starbucks. Because you got a petite one, as soon as you kill it, it's a medium one, and as soon as you kill it, it's a grande one, okay? So you have the Russian doll. Do what?
You said Starbucks, it's venti.
Oh, my
You
bad.
uncultured swine.
Oya Venti.
I apologize.
Hello.
So it's the Russian dolls, but they aren't too bad to be able to kill straight up, because they do have a few gauze spells. They can cast Absorb TP, Bio 2, I believe, Sleepga 2, Drain, and they have an additional effect when they swing and hit you of Dispel. But they are still kind of I don't know, can you silence those? No? So just we've never wiped to it, and I doubt many people have, because they're not that bad. You could 6-man group it easily to be able to kill these, because as soon as you kill one, the other one spawns like in its dead body. So it's like straight up Russian dolls, and you kill them back to back to back. Once you actually have the third one killed, you'll be able to get a Winter Stone. That's 100% drop rate. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure, because I've heard rumors, but there's always rumors. It's 100% drop rate on the Winter Stone. It also drops I believe a greatsword. It's not a great sword, but everything for me that's free 99 is a great sword. It's for warrior, paladin, and dark, and it's got a little bit of extra light damage and accuracy +3 on it. So it's a free great sword. But the main reason you're there is because you want to be able to get a Winter Stone. I'm working our way up to how to be able to provide or kill the gods. So that's number 1. The first one. Get the water, low drop rate by killing pots, pop the Russian dolls, kill Starbucks, get your Winter Stone, and then we can move on to the next one. Questions, comments, concerns?
Is there any lore
I gotta
on
give
that?
lore. Yeah, I gotta give lore on this.
Yeah,
on
give me
these
the lore.
pots.
Give me the lore. I need to breathe real
Pots.
quick.
I don't think that the Starbucks one was the best though, because it's like, isn't it a tall, a venti, and what is the other thing?
It's Spanish.
Grande. No, they're all like
Grande.
different languages. It's like Italian and like English, Italian, English, Spanish, and Italian or something like that.
Like
And
a
they're all
Russian
just mean
doll.
big.
And it's Russian,
They all just
so
mean big.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, when you pop it, it goes from what is it? Does it go from the large to the smaller? No, yeah. So grande, media, and pequeña. But olla is actually we'll get it. This is from Wikipedia. A ceramic jar, often unglazed, can be used for cooking, storing water or food, or irrigation purposes. And I think in this case, it's probably for irrigation purposes, since all of the other enemies that are kind of near it, or a pot, it's a pot, but like outside there's like sprinklers and like groundskeepers and stuff, and it's like a garden, so it's probably the like older type of irrigation that they used.
It doesn't rain too much
out in the
there
southwest.
Yeah.
I guess so. That's all the lore that I had for that.
No problem. So we're going to be working up to our first god pop set. So that is the first stone that you will need. The next pop is for Zip. How do you say its actual name? Because I just call him Zip because I don't want to mispronounce it. Zip. I don't know. Zip.
Look at the word.
Shut up. We're not doing that. Fuck you.
And speak it out slowly. Just do
Okay,
it slowly.
so
Look at the word.
So where's the mute button? It is Zip, and it actually has a pop timer of once it dies, it has a 2-hour window before it actually can pop again. But it does, after its window opens, it has a 1-hour time slot. Isn't it every 10 minutes, if I recall, for the windows currently?
They changed it
Yeah.
to that now, yeah.
Perfect. It is a lottery claim system that is currently active, not by casting on it, just by being near it. He is kind of a nasty SOB with melee a lot of the time because he has a little bit of an AoE that can just start thrashing some people on here. But when he spawns, he roams. He spawns in what's the name of the area? Inside of...
The shrine?
No, the palace.
Loloth Amphitheater? No, that's not it. I don't know what that palace is.
Villagananon?
Oh, Vulaganon.
That's
how I pronounce it.
The Vulaganon is where he spawns, but he doesn't just spawn and like post up and chill. He spawns and immediately just starts power walking. He goes into the basement. He'll come back up. He'll go through gates that are closed. It doesn't matter. He just starts power walking. My recommendation is being able to be near his spawn if you don't know he's up, because he will make a loop back and come back by, and you can grab him at that point in time. He is a little bit tougher to kill than I would say the pots because of the AoEs that he actually does have on him. His main drop you're looking for, which is again 100% drop if you get claim, is a Gem of the North. So now we will have both items that we need for our god. One story I want to tell about Zip though, we didn't have TOD with my Sky LS, and I'm sitting. They said, "Hey, someone go check on Zip." I said, "I'll do it. I'd love being AFK at a spawn point. I'll go up there." So I go and I'm chilling and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden Zip pops up, and I'm like, "Oh shit, Zip!" And I get in headset. I'm like, "Guys, Zip pop! He's on me. He aggroed me. Zip pop!" And I'm like typing in the link shell or whatever, and I start running back to try not to get aggro because there's about that 10 seconds when something pops, it doesn't aggro. So I'm trying to get the fuck away, and then all of a sudden he starts turning and walking to me. The name was cut off at the top of my screen. It was Puck, the GM, who popped up and gave me a fucking heart attack, and I started yelling in headset and link shell chat, and he sends me a tell, "Dude, I'm dying over here. That is the absolute best. I don't know if I can piss someone off as much as you just shit your pants." He's just going off on me, and I'm like, "Oh, this son of a bitch!" I'm cussing him out on stream. I got the clip of it too,
Yeah.
but it was.
I was in your chat. I was watching. I think I'm
You're
the one who
that
clipped it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, dude.
So
Top tier.
Zip is one that is camped quite a bit on there because, again, it's a timed spawn, not something you can farm and pop. So you have to be able to get that actual claim and kill. Again, you're looking for a Gem of the North. He also does drop a free 99 Great Katana as well, with Verse Beasts of a 7 accuracy on it, a little bit of strength too.
99.
Do I? No. First beast
Free
has got
99?
accuracy +7. It is free 99.
Free 99.
Not a 99.
Free 99.
What do you mean? What is a
Free-
free 99?
Free.
It's free.
It's
75.
free.
What is a free 99?
Don't worry about it, Quetch.
Is that like a tax form? Like, what are we talking about?
He's looking at the fucking webpage and didn't remember that it was 75 cap is what's happening.
No,
Oh.
no. Free 99 is a term for free.
It's just free.
It's just
What?
Oh,
you
I've never heard that
suburban
before.
sons of bitches.
I've never heard that before.
Anyways, it is a free great katana. It's not very good, but it does have a little bit of accuracy against some beasts. That's all there is to it. It's rare EX as well. So now you got both of the items. You got the Gem of the North, you got the Witherstone, and you're like, wow, I got two things that drop 100% of the time. What am I going to do with this? Well, you're going to go...
Nothing yet, because there's lore.
Okay.
There's lore for Zapakna.
You got it.
This is from the
Did you hear what she said?
Clopedia site.
That's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Zapakna.
Like Tupac
so,
right in the middle.
In
don't
Mayan
know.
mythology, Zapakna is a demon, the son of Vukab Kakix and Kimmelmot. He's depicted as a giant caiman, like a little crocodile thing, you know what I'm saying? He was strong, violent, and arrogant, often claiming to be the creator of mountains. A group of Mayan gods called the 400 Boys conspired to kill Zapakna because he was too powerful. Zapakna faked his own death, letting the gods believe that they had succeeded in slaying him. He came back when they were drunk one night and killed all 400 of them. The twin heroes, Hunaxpu and Shibala...
It's okay. You're better than me.
Shibalake took revenge on Zapakna by setting a trap involving a fake crab, Zapakna's favorite food. In the end, he was either killed by a mountain collapsing on him or being turned into stone. Judging from his appearance in Final Fantasy XI, the designers probably interpreted him as having been turned into stone. So, there you go. What are we going to do with those two pop items now?
Oh, no, that was great. I loved it. It turned to stone and everything. And yeah, we are going to go pop Genbu. Those are the two pop items you need to be able to pop Genbu.
Items?
Two pop items?
The Tupakna items?
Tupakna.
Tupakna items. And Genbu's Island, that fucking distracted me so bad in my head. J5, J4 up in sky is where the Genbu Island is going to be located at. I'll let you do the lore, but I really was reading the dialogue of when he appears and when he dies, and it reminded me of a lot of Dragon Ball Z Super. And I wanted to read that. If that's okay.
You can. Go ahead.
All right. Genbu, when he spawns, says, I am Genbu, divine guardian of the north. The brief spark of your existence is as a single heartbeat to me. Know your insignificance, mortal. And then when you kill him, he says, I would have never believed a mere mortal could sunder my shell. You amuse me. Perhaps we may meet again. It reminded me of just Dragon Ball Super, straight up off the bat, talking about the mortals and everything. Genbu is a giant fucking turtle. He is a tank. He is thick. When you think tank, invincible. And he definitely does do invincible. I would say out of the 4 gods we're going to be discussing tonight, I'd probably say he's one of the easiest, even though he does have some Gauss spells that can go out and kind of wreck your shit. So make sure you're kind of on top of that. But the best thing about him, in my opinion, is some of these drops. Is there any particular strats that anybody uses for Genbu? I know some of the gods you use silence and bind. I think Genbu you just straight tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tank and spank, right? I've never done it any other way. I just wanted to make sure that like the professionals that are in here didn't have some optimal way of doing it.
Other than magic bursting, skill chain and magic burst is the only thing I would add.
Okay. Yeah.
And
so,
have everybody turn when he invincibles to not feed.
yeah, that would be a good idea. I'm going to bring that up to my late show.
Well, you don't get TP with
You don't
zero
get
damage.
TP with
yet.
invincible. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Spells would still feed, but
Spells would still.
Spells feed though, yeah.
So when you kill Genbu, he will drop a guaranteed seal of Genbu, which we will talk about later what that is used for. He also drops some of the notable money items: a divine log, a V claw, and just because I like clamming still, even though I don't do it, a Nox blood. But some of the actual abjurations that he drops is, I believe, A hands, A head, M hands, W feet, and D feet as well, if I'm not mistaken. He also has quite a bit of gil to steal, so you thieves out there definitely take advantage of that. Anywhere from about 800 gil to almost 6k.
I wish.
On a steal.
Something about Mug here is screwed, man.
I've seen a 4k steal
Recently?
on Genbu. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I haven't stolen mugged specifically Genbu. There's a cat in the background.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She's.
I haven't
doing
mugged
that, say hello.
specifically Genbu in a while, so maybe I'd have to go back and give it another shot. But everything I've tried mugging in the past 6 months has been 300 gil or whatever at tops.
Those are the gil items and abjurations, but there's 2 other items that a lot of people look forward to from Genbu. It's the Genbu shield, which has physical damage taken minus 10% for mages. You got a black mage, white mage, red mage, your bard, etc. on there, including blue. I didn't even know
mage?
blue was on there. Wow. So that is a
Tank
wonderful
piece.
shield to be able to have. Yeah. And the Genbu's Kabuto, which is 15 vitality, 50 HP, and plus 50 to water. And that is Warrior, Monk, Beast, Bard, Ranger, Sam, and Nin. Which, I mean, 15 vitality would be a Steel Cyclone headpiece, wouldn't it? Because it's... Yeah. So, I mean...
Best in slot headpiece for Steel Cyclone.
So those are 2 items that drop from Genbu, and I would say they actually drop fairly often, a lot more than a Haidates does. So I would definitely recommend. It's not a bad fight. The only concerning thing with that whole process to get all the way to Genbu would be probably zip, because you can't force pop that. Other than that, that's the process of being able to get a seal of Genbu.
For the lore, I'm only going to read the little section that says, like, Guardian of the whatever cardinal direction they're from. So this is Guardian of the North. The Guardian of the North is the Black Tortoise. The Black Tortoise is connected with the direction north, the season winter, the element water, and the color black. The Guardian's Japanese name is Genbu, its Chinese name is Shanwu, and its Korean name is Hyunmu. The Black Tortoise is usually depicted as a black turtle with a snake coiled around it, or as a tortoise with a snake's head and a snake's tail, or a turtle snake. In Chinese folklore, the turtle and the snake are often related or are the same animal. The turtle snake is thought to be a turtle during the day and a snake during the night. An alternative view is that the male of the species is the turtle while the female is the snake. This could have been due to the Chinese box turtles, or snake-eating turtle, mating habits. It sprays secretion from its nostrils. In the poor light of the night, it looks like a snake flickering its tongue, and it sounds like a rattlesnake. The tortoise's shell is said to represent the vault of the universe, the shell of the night sky. In the East, the tortoise is a symbol of long life and happy contentment, as well as wisdom. It is said, when a tortoise becomes 1,000 years old, it learns the ability to speak human languages and prophesies the future. In China, the tortoise is an emblem of the imperial court, and the tortoise symbol was usually worn on some court officials' robes. In Japan, this guardian is sometimes replaced with the Tamonten, also called the Bisha Monten, the Dark Warrior / Dark Lord or Black Warrior, one of the Shitenno, 4 Buddhist protectors of the 4 directions. He is sometimes used in Chinese folklore dating back to the Neolithic times, too, as a human warrior wearing primitive clothing and with unkempt black hair. He was considered a powerful being who meted out punishment and salvation. Supposedly, the Shan Wu was a totem of sorts for shamans, with the tortoise and snake being 2 symbols of power. Tamoten is associated with the same 3 central aspects of as the black tortoise, winter, north, and black, when translated into the 5 Japanese elements: fire, water, earth, wind, void. Genbu is assigned the element earth. All right. Now we move on.
Winter and north, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that they paid attention to that. Does that, like, any of you guys who've ever seen The Neverending Story, that kind of reminds, like, some of the things that she was just saying, like, very much spoke to me about, like, what was that, Morla, the ancient one? Like, who Atreyu
Giant
had to go
turtle
talk to, the giant turtle
that
that
kept
had
sneezing on him.
had a cold. Yeah, and was, like,
Oh.
really cranky. I don't know, there's some things in there that she read that reminded me, like, I think that maybe some of that character might be drawn from that inspiration as well. That's very, very, very cool.
Thanks for reminding me of the dead horse. I appreciate that.
That was where my
is
mind
gone.
went, dude. I
Yeah,
haven't
well,
watched
I
that
mean,
movie
this
since I was a kid,
This
and
is
I was
Stomp
so
with
scarred.
Sorrows. Artax dies. I'm sorry, but I was talking about the turtle.
I know. My
It all worked out.
Just remember, don't these look like big, strong hands?
No, that makes me
It's a
cry.
weird.
That one, the fucking rock biter. The rock biter makes me very, very sad. I don't like thinking about the rock biter. It's so sad.
There used to be a beautiful lake, but then it was gone.
To Mother Glove.
We all just flashed back to our childhood.
And everyone's depressed. Enjoy. So we're moving on to Mother Globe. Oh no, by all means, do your lore on Mother Globe first.
Bruh. There's no lore on Mother Globe. There's none. I'm gonna just say I looked on the Clopedia, the BG Wiki, the fandom site. There's nothing. So I'm gonna just use literal definitions from like the dictionary for you, okay? So I'm thinking that the actual mother in this is referring to either creator or originator. That's also used for mother because it spawns some stuff. And you know, globe is either the earth or a spherical or rounded object, which, surprise, surprise, she's spherical. And what does she do? She creates slave globes. I don't know why. That's what she does. That's all I got for the lore.
So in technical terms, the mother and the slave is what they used to call like the main component and the add-on components. Like you can tack on a hard drive mother and have slaves attached to it. So that's part of I think of it. But the other thing I think is that it might be a slight homage to Metroid. I've always thought of Mother Globe as an homage to Mother Brain. And I think that maybe they pulled the name for that as just like an homage to Metroid. That's always been my thought. I don't know if there's any reality in that or anything, but that's just kind of where my brain's always gone with that.
The father go out for smokes?
Yeah, never came back.
Yeah.
Still gone.
So, Mother Globe is the same route that LTL and DA were talking about. You're going to go up, you're going to go past Oya, and then you're going to keep going. You'll reach a room that is a large circular room, and it spawns on the left pillar as you come through the door. Correct? Yeah, the left pillar. And much like Zip, it is a 2-hour respawn once it has died, with an hour window every 10 minutes increments for the window to open. The weird thing about Mother Globe that Ayame brought up is that it does in fact spawn slave globes. It looks like a little, slightly larger than normal detector, which you'll see a lot of in Sky. But it has the same claim system as Zip. It claims you, you don't claim it. Once it spawns, you'll get claim. Most people will run it out of that room into the original teleport room that you come up into, because, well, there's a whole shitload of detectors in that room that you don't want interfering in the middle of your fighting. You take it into that room. If you are the original claim, like it spawns and it claims to you, it will not have any little slaves. It will start spawning them once you engage, and you just basically have your melee kill the slaves, have black mages kill Mother Globe. Because Mother Globe has a really nasty, spikes, shock spikes.
Yep. Stuns you
on
over
her, and
over.
they stun you, and they hurt. Like, I think it's enhanced shock spikes. It does a good bit of damage when you smack it. So that's the standard thing. Usually the melee will kill the slaves, black mages and mages kill Mother Globe. What does Mother Globe drop? I have her open over here.
What?
Other than the spring stone. Well, really? Hey, Dad didn't come back for smokes. She needs a man. So spring stone, 100% drop. Libation Abjuration, which a lot of these will drop, which is makes food, right? If I remember correctly.
Libation is the drink.
Libation is the
This is the
drink.
drink.
Ambrosia.
And then it also drops the
Or soup, sorry.
Shinranui. Shin. Quetch looks deep in thought. Hold
I'm
on.
trying to think of the name of the drink because the food is the ambrosia. The drink,
Yeah.
It is the ambrosia drops, or the
oblation,
version for that.
is
That's
ambrosia.
the oblation.
Yeah,
abjuration.
oblation. Excuse me.
Why can't
The drink, I forget what it's
Shiranui.
called.
Yeah.
Shiranui.
Yeah, Shinranui. It's a katana, like a ninja katana. 3 evasion, light damage, 37 total damage.
Amarita, sorry.
Amarita. That's
That's
what
the name of the drink.
But as DA so eloquently put it, it's free. I'm not putting. No, it's free. It's not great.
The Senju and Rikyo, I think ninjas use it along with the katana that is the same as that scythe we were talking about earlier. It's the crit rate katana from BCNMs. So
Yeah,
you
the
main
6%.
hand, yeah. So you main hand the one and you offhand that one and you get a nice crit rate build.
Not bad. Don't know. Don't play ninja.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong. If Quetch is right, vote in the bottom. Just go ahead. And
Let us know in the comments down below.
But yeah, so you're gonna get a Spring Stone from Mother Globe. It's not a horrible fight as long as you have mages to kill it, because any melee it's gonna suck because you're gonna be paralyzed the entire time, or stunned the entire time. Pretty simple, but that brings us to a more fun one because I really like the second half of this pop set because I don't know why I'm a sick individual and I like Steam Cleaner. Go ahead, tell me the lore for Steam Cleaner, Ayame.
You pick the one where there's no lore for any of it. I don't know. There's no lore
didn't
for
pick.
Steam Cleaner. You pick the guy that it's two things where there's no lore. We got a Mother Globe. We got a Steam Cleaner. I can only think that. So this is just me with my little theory crafting for what the hell a Steam Cleaner would be doing there. I don't know. I'm thinking that, what is cleanliness next to?
Godliness is loneliness.
There you go.
Or emptiness. Emptiness is loneliness. Loneliness is whatever, and God or godliness, and God is empty, just like me. Right? Isn't that the song? Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's next to godliness. There's gods that you pop, okay? And you know what? There's other things that are similar to that. We have like a dust buster, little creature there, like a freaking vacuum, and an aura butler, a butler. So I'm just guessing that they just picked that name because they're like something to clean. Make it a little steam cleaner.
The maintenance crew of Sky. So we've got like the gardening, we've got the maintenance. You guys are onto something, I think. What are the dudes in the walls? Don't they have a name too? That's like something like, shoot,
Guardians.
They just called
Guardians.
groundskeepers.
There's some groundskeepers.
They're called groundskeepers as well.
I just need a
They're
pool
doing
boy
a
and
horrible
they're good to go.
job.
Cool boy.
There's moss everywhere.
We're killing the help, is what you're saying. Like basically,
we're
we
the
go up
reason
there
Sky looks like
and
shit.
we're fucking killing the help. Cool. All right, I get
They're
it.
just trying to put it
Sweet.
together.
Get it. Okay.
Why do they have those drops? It's their
Everybody
fault.
keeps killing
So
Steam
their
Cleaner and
fault.
everything.
So that we can kill their bosses. I get it. Yeah, that's cool. Get it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Steam Cleaner, with such in-depth lore and conspiracy theories. It's fun, but it has, I think it's 2 entrances. It's Seiryu and Suzaku Island, right? That you can enter for Steam Cleaner?
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now. Yes, it's Seiryu and Suzaku. Well, you can technically go in from Suzaku, Byakko, Seiryu, and Genbu. You can go in from all 4. There's entrances on all 4 islands.
Is it? I always just go
but
to Seiryu and Suzaku and hook down.
Yeah, there are entrances on all 4 islands.
So, reference LTL's map that gives them a boner, and you can figure out where they spawn.
I'm gonna post another map right here in the chat for us that is also helpful for finding him. Finding it?
I mean, it's a pot, so yeah. So, Steam Cleaner, you go to one of the entrances, you go down into the bottom, and you'll find on each side there are 2 detectors that roam around in the hallways. The easiest way to get this is you grab one, run into one of the empty rooms, and sleep it. While it slept, somehow miraculously, it can still manage to summon. I think those are the ones named Guardian, right?
I
Correct.
forget what it summons.
Guardian
Pretty
sounds
sure
right.
they're called Guardian.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll either spawn a doll called a Guardian or Steam Cleaner. So you sit there and you hold it. Spawns a doll, kill the doll, wait for it to spawn the next one. Spawns a doll, kill the doll, wait for it to spawn the next one. I think it's 5 total. Before you know it's just not Steam Cleaner, and you just kill the detector, grab the next one. Sit there, sleep it, hold it. Keep doing this eventually if it's in window, which also has a 2-hour window with a 1-hour increment, but it's not really increment, it's like an hour that you can just sit there after that and do it and it'll spawn. It'll eventually spawn Steam Cleaner. Steam Cleaner is incredibly easy. There's not really any tactic to killing Steam Cleaner. Melee, mage, burn it, whatever. Steam Cleaner drops a Gem of the East, which is the second part of this pop set. It also drops a Freya's Tear, Indra Katars, hand to hand, and a Libation Abjuration. I don't know if those Katars are worth a damn, to be honest.
Something about them. I think they have like a certain damage type. They're piercing, I think.
Are those the piercing hand to hand?
Indra Katars.
I know they cost $0, so I'll probably have a pair.
Yeah, but you're a loot whore. You have
I
like
am.
59 out of 75 relic pieces.
You're
for
keeping
Dynamis.
track with me. Nice. I got a fan. By the way, one note for melee: turn off auto attack
Yes.
or auto target when you're killing the dolls, because those dolls die easily. You'll kill the guardian, and then you'll be like, "All right, let's just wait for the next pop," and then the melee is just like, "Shink," and it's dead, and you gotta.
Yeah.
You're like, there goes the rest of those pops.
The detectors
But-
are incredibly squishy.
The dolls are called caretakers, by the way.
Caretakers.
There we go.
I don't
Why am
think
getting
they're
Guardian? What the hell's called Guardian?
I don't think they're the piercing ones, but I think it's the lightning damage on them maybe that some monks might have them around for. I can't find anything saying if it's piercing or not. But,
Yeah, I've never seen them drop, and one of our monks been like, "Hell yeah, finally! I've been waiting for
maybe
these."
it is then. I don't know. I'm not.
I've never seen
anything.
that Freya's Tear
Nearby.
drop.
They're kind of rare, and
Wow.
the only thing they're used for is a level 100 goldsmithing recipe. I've made exactly one of them to try to get a skill up, but it's a very expensive synth. Like, you got to make, like, you know that jeweled collar that people use for their resistance sets?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that takes one of each gem, like emerald, diamond, sapphire, and stuff. So that's like 100 and something K to make, and then you need this Freya's Tear and like a bunch of gold and platinum in order to make the Brigandish, which is and the Freya's Tear. It's the only thing that is used for. And like I said, I made one. It was just really expensive to do. It's not really selling on the auction house, so that's the only use for the item. Otherwise, you just NPC it. I think NPCs for like 5K.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, once you've killed Mother Globe and Steam Cleaner, you now have a pop set for Seiryu. Go ahead, Ayame. What's the lore on Seiryu?
Seiryu, the Guardian of the East. So, the Guardian of the East is a blue dragon, though sometimes it is said to be a green dragon or an azure dragon. To be more specific, it should be called the azure dragon. Azure is a mixture between blue and green. The blue dragon is connected with the direction east, the season spring, the element wood, and the colors blue and green. It also represents the principle of yang. The Guardian's Japanese name is Seiryu, Sei, blue, and Ryu, dragon. Its Chinese name is Qinglong, sometimes Qinglong or Qinglong, green/blue plus dragon, and its Korean name is Kung Ryong. Seiryu is depicted as a Chinese-style dragon serpentine. The Guardian of the East is said to be mighty and fearsome, but also just and benevolent, as well as support and maintain a country, such as controlling rain, a symbol of the emperor's power. Traditionally, in Chinese, the dragon is an emblem of imperial power and authority, and as such, only the emperor could have the dragon as a symbol adorning his robes. It is often paired with the phoenix, the guardian of the south, Suzaku, in both conflict and harmonious union when translated into the 5 Japanese elements: fire, water, earth, wind, void. Seiryu is assigned the element water. So he's a water dragon.
That explains the blue dragon. Nice. So you're gonna take those 2 pop items that you got. You're gonna go to Sirius Island. Again, reference LTL's boner map.
Between ports 8 and 9, You'll notice it there on the map. At about 4
Push the
o'clock
glasses
on
up.
the
Gotta push the glasses up.
about 4 o'clock on the map.
Okay, we need to clip that and make it a GIF. So you're gonna use this to swap Seiryu. Seiryu is a large blue wyvern, not a dragon. It doesn't have front legs, but I'm a nerd. Think about it, idea, calculate.
All right.
Seiryu is a monk. Seiryu, in my opinion, isn't that bad. He's probably next up from Genbu, really.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really do anything too horrible. It does, however, 100 Fist. And usually, once Seiryu 100 Fist, you would shadow bind it if you had a ranger. To wait out that 100 Fist, because it hits really freaking hard. But, didn't we bind it last time because Dave wasn't around? Or tried to bind it?
And bind doesn't stick very reliably. Shadow bind.
Not even with, sealing it, yeah.
Right, yeah. Elemental Seal did not guarantee a bind on Seiryu. But Shadow Bind is, I think, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Works every time. So, I would recommend inviting a ranger to come fight Seiryu with you because it works really well. Once that wears off, it's pretty much a tank and spank. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna have to breathe in real deep to read this loot pool though. 100% drop rate on a Seal of Seiryu, which you'll find out what that's for later. 100% drop rate on an East Wind. A 0.3% Angel Skin. I didn't even know that dropped from Seiryu. Damascene Cloth, Divine Log, Dragon Blood, Dragon Heart, Dragon Meat, Dragon Talon, Marlboro Fiber, Ox Blood. And that about sums up all the crafting items. And then we have the abjurations. A legs, D head, M head, and W hands. Which are all pretty nice. W hands are real nice if you're a what, LTL?
Ranger.
There you go.
I mean, they also could
Red
be used
Mage,
by
Dark Knight.
Red Mage, Dark Knight.
well,
I want them.
the W hands could be used by Red Mage and Dark Knight because they have the Dark Magic skill plus 10.
Done.
It also drops Seiryu's Kote and Seiryu's Sword if you want to look like you have a riddle, but you don't have a riddle. Seiryu's Sword looks exactly like a riddle.
You could put the
It does.
riddle in one hand and the Seiryu sword in another hand and have two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would be able to do that?
Somebody with
Quest.
Sword weapon skills aren't very good.
They're not. And it can drop between 1500 and 28k. But yeah, once you have that, you get the Seal of Seiryu, and then I guess we're done with Seiryu. Like I said, it's an easy fight. It's tank and spank too.
I think another thing worth mentioning is that in the loot pools, each one of them will drop a wind or a zephyr. And what those are used for, typically they're not used, but what they are used for is each of these gods starts with an effect. Something that's inherently on them. And the way to get rid of that is to throw the zephyr or the wind at the god. If you're looking at my boner map, you'll notice that Genbu and Suzaku are across from each other, and Byakko and Seiryu are across from each other. If I'm not mistaken, that's the way that you can tell whose Zephyr or Wind does it against the other. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe that for Genbu, if you use Genbu's Zephyr or whatever against Suzaku, it takes off Susie's effect. If you use Susie's on Genbu, it takes off his. The only one that really matters, and the one that people would actually care about, is the one that's on Byakko. Haven't gotten there yet, but I think it's Seiryu's, and you throw it's an Arctic Wind or an Antarctic Wind or something at Byakko. You need to have somebody with throwing high enough, so a ninja, or I think one of the tricks is to have a thief perfect dodge.
Correct.
And then throw it at Byakko because it adds 999 throwing or ranged or something.
Yeah, I can actually. Can I just say something to that real quick? Because you can actually. So I've been told that Thief's perfect dodge caps your accuracy on the server, and not only is that true, you can actually, if you check param yourself /check param, you'll see when you have perfect dodge on, you've got you've got 1300 or something accuracy on both ranged accuracy and regular accuracy. So it actually boosts you by 999. So yeah, it allows you to very easily land anything in the game.
which is insane. So I don't want to take up too much time because I know we're talking about other stuff, but those winds and zephyrs that drop from each of the gods, they do have a use, and it's limited to debuffing the opposite god from them. And like I said, the only one that people really care about is the Byakko one. Again, it's not essential to use it on Byakko, but it does make a time with Byakko. If you find yourself having a hard time fighting Byakko, using that against him at the very, very start of the fight tends to be pretty helpful for people struggling with that fight.
Great shout out, LTL.
The item is the East Wind.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. And now we are on to the next god set here, leading up to Suzaku, but we're going to have to start with Faust. Ayame, what is the lore on Faust?
I don't know why this is so unnecessarily long, but it is, because I guess he's associated with, like, the devil or something. But this is from the Clopedia. Faust is a character from early modern European literature. Faust has become the archetype for people who make a pact with the devil to gain something, usually knowledge or power. Faust first appeared in literature in Historia von die Iohann Faustin by Anonymous in 1587, apparently based off of real German alchemist Dr. Johann Georg Faust, who lived in 1480 to 1540, a notorious figure. One account tells of him in prison offering to show the chaplain how to remove facial hair without a razor using wine laced with arsenic, which stripped not only the hair, but the skin as well. Contemporaries of Dr. Faust, like Martin Luther, wrote of their belief that he had made a deal with the devil. This inspired Christopher Marlowe to write The Tragic History of Dr. Faustus, first decade of the 1600s. This, in turn, inspired Faust, Part 1, from 1808 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. I don't know how to say that. The basic story is an alchemist named Faust who has no real skills in his profession, summons the devil in the form of Mephistopheles.
Oh.
Yeah, Mephistopheles or Mephisto, which makes a deal with him where he will serve Faust for a certain period of time, offering him supernatural knowledge and material items, but will cost Faust his soul. The story symbolizes how pride, vanity, and swindling will invariably doom a person. The adjective, Faustian, has entered the English language as an act involving hubris or arrogance, which will doom a person. It should be noted that there was a very similar tale in Poland, only the figure was named Pan Twardowski. Somebody who's making a pact with the devil.
Yeah, and
Funny because I was watching a friend stream Midnight Suns earlier today, and the evil doctor that's working for Hydra in that game is named Dr. Faustus.
you go. So there's like a historical precedent to all this. And Faust is a pain in the ass. So, yeah, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how many people you have, but
One red mage?
also one red mage can solo it. Yes. But I believe just through binding and kiting and nuking, because he stops the whirlwind. So as long as you're like at a good enough distance, you'll outrange his whirlwind every time. So, but yeah, as a melee, you got to watch out. Now getting to Faust, I believe there's a point when you're like going to Oya and all that, where you split off and go to Faust. Is that correct, LTL?
No, it's actually
Uli?
so you go on Genbu Island behind, like, instead of going down to Genbu, you go behind the stairs, and you take that path to Faust. It's either Faust or Uli Kumi.
Okay, instead of going to Uli, gotcha. That's what it is.
Right, yeah.
So basically, there's this one room with a pincer in it, and he always spawns like dead center of that room. And I remember back in retail, he would like basically stare down this hallway, and you'd play this game of like, can I see Faust? Is he down there, or will he see me first and come and kill me? I haven't really had that kind of thing here, maybe because he's just like on farm. But Faust is also in that same respawn bracket that Cal was talking about, where it's like when it dies, there's a 2-hour period where it will not spawn, and then there's a 1-hour period where it will, and it's 10-minute windows within that third hour. And essentially, it's exactly what I described. He just walks around typhooning over and over and over again. But once you get the claim and get the kill, you will get a Summer Stone. The other item that it drops, I actually had to look this up because I either have never paid attention to it, or maybe never even seen it. But there's a polearm called the Tanbo Giri. It's agility +3, enmity +3, and versus vermin, it has 3% more crit rate.
That the one that has like the spike with the curve at the
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty. The icon is pretty cool looking, so might be a good lock style weapon. But he drops the Summer Stone, which is part of spawning Suzaku, who we will go to find out is, based on fire. So, yeah. So the other NM you want to kill along with that is Brigandish Blade. Do we have any lore?
He doesn't have lore listed, so we could just look at the meaning, but there is some lore associated with something. So brigand means one who lives by plunder, usually as a member of a band, like a bandit. And, in order to kill him, this is some like spoilery stuff for what Question's going to say later, but he needs to be hit by a buccaneer's knife, which could be stolen from him to remove his immunity effect. And what is a buccaneer? It's any of the freebooters preying on Spanish ships, settlements, especially in the 17th century in the West Indies, or a pirate, okay? So he needs to be stolen from by thief, bandit, pirate.
We'll also
all kind of
use
like the same thing, right?
katanas, which is typically
Yes.
associated with pirates. Yeah.
Yes, there is lore for the katana, because you need that
there we go.
for him. Where is it? In European folklore, katana was the sword of Edward the Confessor, king of the Anglo-Saxon England from 1042 to 1066 AD, and second to the last Anglo-Saxon ruler before the Normans invaded and took over in 1066 AD. The ceremonial sword is used at the coronation of the British monarchs. The sword has a dull edge and is said to be an emblem of mercy. It is said to be forged using the same steel and temper as Durandal and Joyeuse. Cortana, spelled with an O in this instance, was also, according to legend, the sword of Ogier the Dane. It bore the inscription, "My name is Cortana, of the same steel and temper of Joyeuse and Durandal." So it's related to those two.
I love it's dull, so it's a sign of mercy. It's not meant to kill. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I also got the sense that it was something that was well regarded or possibly even valuable, which it kind of makes sense. You kind of pull Brigandish Blade out from his hiding because he sees something he likes. So the katana is found in there's side rooms on Suzaku Island and Seiryu Island.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically go into those side rooms and there's a bunch of doors and you want to find a question mark, and when you find that, it'll put a katana into your inventory. You then take that to Brigandish Blade's spawn, trade it to the question mark, and then you'll fight. There's really not many mechanics to talk about. It's just basically a weapon type mob, but it does have end terror that it hits you with and terrors you for like 3 to 5 seconds, which is kind of annoying. So you basically just tank it with shadows. Now, the one main mechanic is that its final hit points cannot be taken out except with a Buccaneer's knife, which is something that's stolen from Brigandish Blade. Now, I have a story. Did you have something you want to say, DA?
Question: is it the final hit points, or it has to be hit with that item, that sword?
Last hit points cannot be
Really?
removed without it killing it with that.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a little discussion about that the other day, so we thought it was at any point you dealt damage with it that you could kill him.
He won't take damage at his like last percent without that.
No, because Soren has the one for us that we usually use up there, and I got him down to like, I think it's like 5 or 10%. His health stopped moving until Soren stabbed it.
Oh, sword stabbed it at the beginning?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Thank you for the clarification.
So I had a time where I don't know if I was bugged, but I had to steal from this guy 8 times, and it still didn't give me the knife. And I checked my inventories. I checked the website, which can also check your inventories. I did not have the knife, and I didn't get it. So somebody else had to come out and steal from him and kill him the one day we did that. Mind you, steal's on a 5-minute recast, so just to let you know how long we spent just staring at this stupid weapon mob. Yeah, somebody, basically that's what you do. You pop him with the katana, you kill him and get the... You can get the Gem of the South, which is the second item. This doesn't have any unique drops to it, but it does have an interesting mechanic in that room. So in the room where you fight, there's a pillar that is another set of question marks. If you trade your Buccaneer's knife, you have a very high chance for it to do nothing, but you have a small % chance for that Buccaneer's knife to transform into the Bartholomew's knife, which is the only knife in the game with steel on it, steel plus on it. So it's steel plus 2.
Wow.
And an additional effect, water damage. If you trade it, and it does not become Bartholomew's knife, that Buccaneer's knife can never be traded to that
It's
again.
Flagged with that item now.
Yes.
It's okay, cool.
That item is now flagged as had been traded and did not result.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It also has water damage on it.
I have a funny story for Brigandish Burley, just because you know how easy it is to kill, right?
Yeah.
So we ran down there and some people were trying to low man it. And I think there's 4 of them. And we ran down and that room is full of other weapon type mobs.
Yep.
Well, they didn't kill any of them and they saw us running down to start popping. So they spawned Brigandish Blade with a whole bunch of other weapons in the room still. And so when they spawned it and started fighting it, they aggroed all 6 of the other weapons in the room. And had no one to sleep them, so they just got the crap beat out of them. And just died.
Why panic? It's not like you're going to steal the question mark for,
No.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
We would have just chilled, let them pop theirs, and then they could have left, and we would have started popping ours. But nope, they freaked out and popped it, and they just got destroyed.
Jeez.
All right, and on to Suzaku.
There was lore, though, for that knife you just brought up.
Oh, for real? Bartholomew's knife. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. It says Bartholomew Roberts is one of the most well-known pirates in history. Was also the most successful one by number of ships captured. This would account for the steel plus 2 attribute, and being a pirate on the high seas would account for the water damage and resistance. He was also known as Black Bart.
Black Bart?
Bart, yeah, I don't know.
Simpson?
Like Bartholomew?
Like Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, yeah. It's his
Black
nickname.
Bart. Isn't that the name of the imaginary guy that Ralphie fights with the fucking Red Ryder BB gun in A Christmas Story? Black Bart. I guarantee
We're not that old.
You've never seen A Christmas Story before?
I'm just fucking with you, dude. Jesus Christ, calm down. Look at your map. Calm down. Look at your map.
Fuck.
I haven't watched it, though.
That doesn't
I haven't
surprise
watched
me.
anything.
Things you haven't seen is you could write a book about the things you haven't seen, and it would be huge.
Yeah.
He came out
Let's move to... Are we moving to Suzaku
Yes, we're on to
now?
Suzaku now.
Big chicken.
Big chicken.
You want his lore?
Yes, please.
Big chicken. The guardian of the south is the red bird or the red phoenix. The red phoenix is connected with the direction south, the season summer, the element fire, and the color red. The guardian's Japanese name is Suzaku, sometimes Sujaku. Its Chinese name is Zuke. So Zuke vermilion and rue sparrow. And its Korean name is Jujok. It is noted its name more accurately translates to vermilion, red-orange color. Sparrow, which is a small songbird, though it could be considered metaphorically as a term for any singing bird, this seems to be the case. The red phoenix is portrayed with a radiant, multicolored plumage of feathers and an enchanting, captivating song. It supposedly only appears in times of good fortune and prosperity. The symbolism of the red phoenix in China and Japan seem to be merged with or identical to that of the mythological Chinese phoenix, Feng Kuang, or the Ho-Oh. In Chinese, it was considered an emblem of beauty, and as such was often sewn only onto the robes of the empress. It is often paired with the blue dragon, the guardian of the east, Seiryu, in both conflict and harmonious union. When translated into the 5 Japanese elements, fire, water, earth, wind, void, Suzaku is assigned the element fire. Fire.
All right. Yes, the Firebird, who does Chain Spell for its 2-hour, and proceeds to nuke you with, let's see, Fire 4, Faraga 3, Flare. Yeah, basically it's another kind of tank and spank fight, except for when it does Chain Spell, and then you'd want to like Shadow Bind. I'm not sure if regular bind lands on it.
You can.
Okay.
Silence can as well.
Yeah, you can silence it.
You can silence it. I play
It
so much
says
melee.
extremely resistant. Extremely resistant, but not immune.
We have gotten it to silence.
But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward fight. It does have additional like fire damage unless you dispel that, and it can be very dangerous if it's chain spells Faraga. Like, so I've noticed that we just basically straight tank it most of the time now. But I think our paladins have like fire resistance sets because of like Tiamat and stuff like that. But like if it decides to chain spell like and Faraga 3 right off the rip, it could just like wipe a lot of people. But it's pretty easy to recover because everybody starts getting out of dodge when it starts taking people out, and then you just regroup and kill it. But yeah, it's a very weak, like it takes a lot of damage. But in terms of drops, you get a Seal of Suzaku, which will be coming up later on. The Antarctic Wind drops here, but it also has a couple money drops: D-Cloth, O-Ingot. Well, no, those are kind of cheap. D-Cloth, Shining Cloth, V-Claw. Its weapon is the Suzaku's Scythe, which is not really used that much, but it's basically a fire damage scythe. But the Sune Ate are pretty useful. They have 50 fire resist and mind plus 15. So I know some various like I know like holy bolts are like based on mind. Not the greatest. We'll get probably to the greatest item from the gods in general with Byakko, but for now, Suzaku Sune Ate, yep, fire resist, and then some various abjurations. I think the most coveted item from this mob is probably N Feet, Neptunal Abjuration Feet. It's the melee dex strength foot slot. So and like lots of people need it. It's like Dragoon, Thief, Warrior, Beastmaster. It's just like everybody needs one. So there's never enough.
The drop rate on infeed is awful.
There's never enough.
I bet we've killed. How many of you guys think we killed? 20, 25,
50? 40 or
maybe
50?
more. Yeah, more than that. I've seen 3.
Holy crap! Yeah, the Horizon Wiki has it at 3%, which is insane. Well, weird. Okay.
You said it drops a D-Cloth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that needed for crafting the Vermilion Cloak, which is part of its name? Or like a part of its lore?
It is.
Awesome.
It is.
I heard you say that. I was like, I recognize that name. I don't own that cloak, but so I started looking at the drops and I was like, that's cool. That's cool.
Yep. So that is Suzaku.
All right, so we're going to now move on to the most exciting, at least the most exciting drops from a god, the next god. That's Byakko, but we're going to talk about how to get there first. What is the roadmap to Byakko, LTL? Let me tell you. So you have to kill 2, pre-pops before you get to the god, just like everything else. First one we'll talk about is Uli Kumi. I don't know how exactly people pronounce it. Uli Kumi, I believe, is how you pronounce it. It's how I'll pronounce it. But before we move on to any of that stuff, Ayame, you got anything for Uli?
Yes. So this is from the Clopedia. It says, in Hurrian and Anatolian mythology, the Hurrians were a people who resided in northern Mesopotamia, roughly where modern Turkey, Syria, and Iraq have their borders meet. Uli Kumi was a giant stone monster which grew so rapidly and so large it towered from the shoulders of Upeluri, a dreaming god who, like the Greek Titan Atlas, is holding up the heavens. So he towered to the heavens. From the heavens? Something like that. Uli Kumi posed a threat to the gods who dwelt in the heavens, but none of them could harm it. The gods considered abandoning their dwelling, but Ea noticed where Uli Kumi's feet were positioned. Uli Kumi's feet were cut off with a copper saw by the god Ea, causing the giant to topple and be destroyed. Uli Kumi was specifically made out of volcanic rock. Uli Kumi was created by Kumarbi, a god who sired all other gods and who once ruled, but who was disposed by the storm god Teshub, one of his sons. To get revenge on Teshub and the other gods, Uli Kumi was said to be 9,000 leagues tall. That's 27,000 miles or 45,000 kilometers. For reference, the diameter of Earth is 12,756 kilometers, and the diameter of Neptune is 49,528 kilometers. So he's humongous. Made out of volcanic rock.
Look at his feet next time.
Well, it's interesting that they say that he was formed of lava, because one of the things that you need to pop him with is diorite. And do you have any story behind that? Or because I just looked it up real quick.
I could
yeah.
read that. Here we go. It says diorite is a black or blue-gray igneous rock with a greenish tint and salt and pepper appearance, composed of plagioclase, biotite, hornblende, and pyrazine. Sorry. It is usually found in granite or gabbro intrusions, often in volcanic arcs or areas with Cordilleran mountain building going on. It can be found worldwide, but it is relatively uncommon. Diorite is a very hard rock, which makes it difficult to carve.
Igneous
the one
means from lava.
Right, yeah, because the one that I said is the one that I found says it's an intrusive igneous rock formed by the slow cooling underground of magma, molten rock. That has a moderate content of silica and a relatively low content of alkali metals. So I wasn't going to mention the diorite because I knew it was just a rock, but when you were talking about how he was created from lava, I found that really interesting that they named the diorite like the thing that was made from lava as well. So I thought that was a pretty little parallel. So speaking of diorite, that's the thing that you need to pop Uli Kumi, And where you get that from is there's two places where you can farm diorite. One of them is in the Celestial Nexus, which you can get to going through the center of Sky on the map. Check it out. I prod you to check the map. And you kill aura statues there. Or you could also go to this place where Uli Kumi where you can spawn him. It's a big round room. There's barely enough for one group to camp. If you have a group that's killing them really quickly, they'll die really quickly, and there's a lot of downtime between their respawns. Diorite itself has a 1% spawn rate, I believe, or is it 2? They supposedly moved it to 2%. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like so. From our personal experience, if you'll hearken to earlier in the podcast, we were talking about breaking Sith Subduer. We were up there doing it on these aura statues, and we had 2 different thieves come out throughout the course of 4 hours out there. It was like 4 hours or something. And in those 4 hours, we killed every single aura statue that popped in those 4 hours. And in those 4 hours, we got 2 diorite. So it's a really, really, really low, abysmally low drop rate. But when you do get one, you can use that to trade to the question marks in the Uli Kumi room, and he spawns. So let's talk about the fight for Uli Kumi. What a lot of people tend to do for this fight is they'll drag him to the north into a room where there's a teleporter, and they'll kite him around the teleporter. If there's nobody else in there and you're killing everything else anyways, you can just straight tank him. It doesn't really matter. He's not like super tough. He's about Zapakna levels of tough from what we were talking about earlier. Does heavy strike. It's single target physical, absorbed by 1 shadow. He has an AO, like the typical AoE stuff that a normal statue will do. he's not particularly difficult. If you have a group that can handle statues, you have a group that can pretty much handle Uli. He's just a bigger, dumber, slower version of the statues that are already there. When you kill him, however, you are granted an Autumn Stone, which we will talk about shortly, what the Autumn Stone does. You can also get the Oblation Abjuration, which we've spoken about, and something called the Ulfadin, I believe it's pronounced Ulfadin Axe, which is a great axe, can be used by Warrior, Dark Knight, and Rune Fencer. Lol. It has the damage of 91, delay of 504, store TP +1. Don't know if it's a good axe or not. I'm guessing it's probably not comparatively to the other things that you can have. But it also has the additional effect versus hounds, which is super useful, of ice damage. So when you find yourself fighting some hounds, like if you're in the LDM Necropolis or something for some reason, and you find yourself fighting some hounds, make sure to pull out your Ulfhedin axe as a warrior, Dark Knight, or Rune Fencer of level 72 and have at those dirty hounds. After Uli Kumi, you're going to want to kill something called Despot. Now, you'll remember, harken back again with me, won't you? To the beginning of the video when I was gushing over this map, one of the first places that I talked about is the hallway that you'll run through where Despot spawn. Well, in that hallway, in recessed areas in the wall, are groundskeepers, statues. They will aggro to magic. They will also aggro if you get too close to them. They will also aggro if you shoot them with a crossbow bolt, or Dia, or Carbuncle Meteor. They will aggro. So point is that those are the only ones that will give you what you're looking for here. The ones that pat or patrol in the middle will not potentially do the thing that we're going to talk about next, which is Despot is a lottery spawn from the groundskeepers that are in the recessed parts of the walls. Now, he's on a very similar pop schedule to the ones that we were talking about before. After death, there's a 2-hour window where he will not spawn, and then at that 2-hour point from his time of death, we'll open 10-minute windows up until we reach the 3-hour mark from his death, where he will be forced to spawn. But because he's a lottery pop, will he be forced to spawn? That's not guaranteed, and I don't know that we know the answer to that yet, because the way it works is you kill those things, the groundskeepers in the wall. Yeah, sorry, I had to get there.
You're good.
Old man brain. You kill those things over and over and over again, and then what happens is when the body despawns and the nameplate disappears of the groundskeeper that you've just killed, it has a chance to spawn Despot. And Despot is another statue who, doesn't really do anything special, more special than the normal statues do. He's just bigger, tougher, has more HP. But I'm going to give you guys a little tip. So this is something that's common knowledge to a lot of people who farm Sky, but maybe you're new. Maybe you've never farmed Sky or killed Despot. Something that you need to be aware of is that when you're in that desperate frenzy of killing all of these groundskeepers that are in that area and you're trying to get Despot to pop, the person who put the killing blow on the previous groundskeeper needs to not engage the next groundskeeper that you guys are fighting until the previous groundskeeper's nameplate disappears. Why, LTL? Why would they do that? We need that DPS. Well, Despot will spawn claimed, provided that the person who landed the killing blow on the groundskeeper is not engaged on another mob. If you are, however, engaged on another mob, Despot will spawn white. And as we all know, you can free claim Despot if it's white, because on this server, it's up for grabs. If it's yellow, it's mellow. You know what I mean? You can grab it. So make sure that whoever it is in your party that lands the killing blow on any groundskeeper when you're trying to pop Despot is not aggroing or getting claim on a different mob, because it will spawn white and somebody else. When you kill Despot, you will get a Gem of the West. Sorry, I forgot to ask about lore for Despot, but we'll get through this and then we'll do the lore. I apologize. The Oblation Abjuration, and also has a small chance to drop something called the Scarecrow Scythe, which is a warrior, Dark Knight, and Beastmaster. I know that I've seen some Beastmasters asking for this. I don't know if that's because it's good, or if it's just because it's level 75 and it's a decent scythe to have. But it does have damage of 86, delay of 480, double attack plus 1%, and additional effect versus birds of bind.
Now there's birds in sky at least.
No, there are birds
All
in
right.
sky, but like
It's not like
I mean,
hounds.
if you're like attacking something and like you bind it, I guess like you disengage and run away. Like that's really strange to me. I don't know. I got nothing for that one. But yeah, if you want that, go ahead. It's there. It drops from Despot. I've seen it quite a few times. It seems to be a decent drop rate. But again, like I mentioned, my apologies. I went straight into Despot stuff without asking for the lore. So what's the lore behind Despot? Is there any?
There's just some historical background. It says despotism is a form of government by a single authority, either an individual or a tightly knit group, which rules with absolute political power. In its classical form, a despotism is a state where one single person, called a despot, wields all the power and authority, and everyone else is considered his slave. This form of despotism was the first known form of statehood and civilization. The pharaoh of Egypt is exemplary of the classical despot.
So those could be like 2 rows of guards when you enter Sky, and he's like the general of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Kinda like the
side
king
note
of the
for
guard.
Despot. The regular groundskeepers that you fight to spawn Despot do use Meltdown,
True.
and it will wipe your alliance if it is not stunned or weapon bashed or shield bashed or whatever.
Right.
Unless
David
you're
Anderson?
Galka, then you stand there. Yeah,
Isn't that
David
what
Anderson
happens,
would
David
know.
Anderson?
Oh yeah, I got some wonderful LTL balls in my face one day because of that.
Just the itty bittiest of balls. Yeah.
Yeah,
But Despot,
they were dip, and then he looked at his map.
Despot does not use Meltdown, so you don't have to worry about Meltdown with Despot. He does, however, spam his TP moves, so if you're melee and you get hit, you're probably gonna die. Have fun.
Oh yeah, the one where like blast you in the face.
Like Blitzkrieg or whatever it is they
Yeah.
all use, or
Doesn't that add slow too or something?
Panzerfaust. That's what it is.
Does it add slow? I don't know.
It's slower
Sounds
gravity. I
right.
thought it did something.
I think there's a slow of some sort.
The Blitzkrieg one, I think, is a berserk, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one of them slows for sure. All right. So then once you have your Autumn Stone and your Gem of the West, you're ready to kill the best of all of the gods. But let's refer back to the map real quickly, shall we?
God fucking damn.
Where
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A will show you very clearly where it's extremely easy to get to every other god. Byakko, on the other hand, has a very convoluted way that you can get to him. Because whereas normally you can just walk down the stairs and teleport up to whatever like mini god you want to kill, Byakko, for some reason, on his stairs, there's a broken pillar or a column or something, and you just can't do it. So you have to go over to Genbu Island and follow a similar path that you would follow when you're on your way to Faust or Uli Kumi. However, where the route to Uli and Faust goes to the east, you're going to need to go to the west, go through several doors. It looks like you need to go through 2 yellow and 2 blue. The worst part about getting through the first yellow is that there are no pincer stones between you and the entrance to that place to open the yellow. You either have to rely on the kindness of others or have the foresight to send somebody off to somewhere where they can open it for you in a different part of the zone. However, once you get through all of that, the purple line that you'll notice on the map to the north part there, you'll get to the Byakko Island. And once you're up on Byakko Island, you're going to trade your Autumn Stone and your Gem of the West, and you'll pop Byakko. Byakko is a tiger, and he's awesome. And I'm going to send it over to Ayame for the lore portion of this one.
Byakko. The guardian of the west is the white tiger. The white tiger is connected with the direction of west and the season autumn, the element metal, and the color white. The guardian's Japanese name is Byakko, its Chinese name is Baihu, and its Korean name is Byakko. Byakko, yeah. According to Chinese folklore, the emperor is buried with metal in his grave, which 3 days afterward was supposed to assume the form of a white tiger, which crouched over the grave as if to protect it. Traditionally, the white tiger was seen as a protector and defender, not to mention the king of animals and lord of the mountains. It is associated with fighting enemies of the kingdom for the living and slaughtering demons threatening the graves and spirits of the dead. In China, it was considered an emblem of the generals of the military. They often wore a tiger made from white jade. When translated into the 5 Japanese elements, fire, water, earth, wind, void, Byakko is assigned the element wind.
Heard crouching tiger and immediately was like, oh.
Crouching tiger, windy tiger. So Byakko is fun. As I previously mentioned, if you use the whatever
East
throwing
wind.
thing, the east wind, thank you. If you use the east wind on Byakko, it removes his paralyzed attack. What does he have? Like shock spikes
And
or something?
damage. It's just huge.
And damage,
It's just
yeah.
like hundreds of damage.
It's something crazy. So it's a good idea to use it against him. He likes to open with a triple attack, as we found. That's like a big thing. So getting him stunned as soon as he spawns is not a terrible idea. He loves to paralyze. He uses Paralyzga in some form or another with his giant swipey swipe. He likes to paralyze everybody in the path, which is a giant pain in the ass. His 2-hour is perfect dodge, which is just great because nobody can fucking hit him except for mages, and then mages pull aggro, and then they get swipey swiped, and they die. It's fucking fantastic. And he's fast as hell. So he's definitely the most difficult of the lesser gods. Definitely difficult. Definitely rewarding to kill him though, because unlike the others, he drops like really sought after and useful stuff. First of all, the Seal of Byakko, which we're very close to finding out what these seals do. With 100%, he drops a Zephyr with 100%, which you can use against his counter god to lessen their abilities. He can also drop Beetle Blood, which isn't worth a lot. Behemoth Hides, which are pretty expensive and pretty fantastic. Damascus Ingots, Divine Logs, Ox Blood, Marlboro Fiber. Those are the crafting materials, which are all, well, for the most part, pretty valuable. You can sell them for quite a bit of money. He also drops the Aquarian Abjuration Head for the Zenith Crown, the Dryadic Abjuration Legs for the Shura Hayadate, which are, I think, really good for Monk. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I remember having them on my Samurai on retail because I didn't get Hayadate. Can Samurai even do that? I don't know, but I know that the Shura Hayadate they can. The Earthen Abjuration Feet, and then the Neptunal Abjuration Hands, which are also really good for a lot of deep classes. The other really cool things that he drops are the Byakko's Axe, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a really good axe for warrior until they reach a certain level of gear. They can get better axes than that, but that's a really good entry level, free, as DA would like to have you know.
I still use
axe. I'm not surprised.
It's really good.
That's
no,
like
it's a great
third
axe.
best.
Yeah. Great for free.
It's like
Right.
what? Bravura, Marshall Booge, Byakko's?
Then Byakko.
And the other thing that he can drop is one of the most sought after pieces in all of Final Fantasy XI, and Horizon has decided to make it an exceptionally low drop rate, is the Byakko's Hayadate. They look really fucking cool. I love the way those things look. But what those do are, we'll not talk about the defense because who cares, but their dexterity plus 15, less exciting to an extent is the plus 50 lightning resistance, which who cares, but the important part is the haste plus 5% on a leg slot. Those are the best in slot pants, I believe, that you can get for certain jobs. The ones who can wear it are Warrior Monk, Beastmaster, Bard, Ranger, Samurai, and Ninja. They are fantastic pants that everybody seems to want. And they're absolutely amazing. Everybody loves them. So that's Byakko in a nutshell. I think we've only got one left.
Yeah, we do have one left. The one that you use all of the seals for that you've been gathering this whole time from all of the other gods. Who could it be? It's Kirin.
Drum
Oh,
roll.
Kirin,
oh,
guys.
it's Kirin. Oh, huh.
Yeah, that's
Is she
who
placed
it
down the
is.
road?
It's a golden horse.
Could be. Could be a delicious beer. You get to him really easily, too. You go down the little Despot path, make a little left, go through the little palace through there, and just follow that. Is that brown on your map? Your favorite map?
My favorite map has it as it's like a maroon color, actually. It's more of like a crimson or maroon than it is brown.
She's as colorblind as Sith.
Yeah.
It looks like Dookie Brown to me, but okay.
Okay, then to get to Kirin, just follow the bloody doo-doo brown.
Get in the comments of what color this is. If it's duty brown, let us know. Shout out to that guy who's watching the last episode and taking a dump. Shout out to you.
I'm going to read the lore part first for Kirin. So it says, in Chinese folklore, the Qilin, or Kirin, is a mythological animal with the body of a deer, or head of a deer / dragon. Chinese mythology shows it more as a dragon's head. Japanese mythology shows it more as a deer's head, an ox's tail, a horse's hooves, a body covered in fish scales, and a single horn on its forehead. It is usually shown with a flaming or radiant aura. It was described as an herbivore and could walk over grass without disturbing it, as well as walk on water. Legend states the Qilin only appears at the birth or death of a great wise person. The Qilin lives in paradise for the rest of the time. It can live to be 1,000 or more years old and is considered the embodiment of everything that is good and pure. In Japan, the Kirin was an animal god who punished evildoers and the wicked with its horn and protected the just and good, granting them good luck. To see a Kirin was considered the most auspicious of omens, the best luck possible. In Japanese, Kirin has become the word for unicorn and giraffe. It is believed the Qilin is a distorted report of a giraffe, with it being reported by Zhang Rei, noted Chinese explorer who explored Eastern Africa in the early 1400s CE. The Qilin was not in the mythology until this point in time.
So we talked about it earlier about being the baddies and going up there and fucking up somebody's house and the groundskeepers and the dust bunnies, and then are we the baddies?
We're gonna go kill the most pure thing, yeah.
Yeah, this horse doesn't disturb grass. It's just like
he walks on water.
That's
and
how
only
like,
appears at the death of a wise person. So us killing the lower gods has caused Kirin to stir.
We're the baddies
because we've killed wise people.
Yeah. Have you guys watched Princess Mononoke?
I actually haven't. It's on my list of things to watch one day.
There might be something really, really similar, if not the Kirin in there. I'm just saying. Very interesting.
I like the little guys whose heads click.
Oh, yeah. What are they called again? But you spawn him by going down that poo-poo colored road on the sky map, and then you just trade those 4 seals to some question marks in that room, and you pop them. And what does he do? He's got all kinds of moves. Usually, so how we usually do it, you could fight him like 2 different ways. Okay, you could do like a melee Zerg, which we've done before, and have like an outside party of black mages just blast the shit out of the ads. Because what are the ads? There's gonna be ads, okay, guys? Guess what happens? He calls for reinforcements. Who are his reinforcements? It's the 4 cardinal signs that you just fought, but they're lesser, babier versions and less violent, and they don't have that much HP. It's fine, okay? It's chill. But we've had like the black mages just blast them, kill them pretty easily with like a tank, and just Zerg down freaking Kirin with like melee. Or you could have a melee party to Zerg him down on the outside and have the black mages fucking magic burst and kill him like super quick. I'm just gonna say, I was very proud of our last Kirin fights. We got it down to 14 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 14 minutes? Yeah, 14 minutes to kill him. Very proud.
What we usually did was whenever an ad popped, we'd have an outside person pull the ab because it doesn't pop claimed. They'd pull it and then call for help on it, and then anybody and everybody could
That's what
just
we do
light
too.
it the hell up.
We do
There's
that.
also a third strategy where you kite Kirin until he summons all the ads. And kill them off as he's summoning them, and then you stop and start fighting him once all the odds are dead.
Yeah. Doesn't he, when you spawn him, doesn't he start casting something immediately? I feel like I always have to silence him as soon as he spawns.
He can.
Kirin?
He just likes casting. I'm not sure if it's on spawn.
Like as soon as he's...
If he's not silenced, like, I don't know, he spends like 2/3 of his time casting.
Yeah, you could silence him. Just silence him. But he has all of these different moves. He's got Heat Breath, Great Whirlwind. Please don't face it at your healers, for the love of God. It's conal, and it fucking hurts.
Unless your healer's
Great
DA.
Sandstorm.
And then face it at DA.
Hey, no, leave him alone.
I don't know.
Tail Smash, which
That
binds
fades.
you. Tail Swing also binds you. Deadly Hold, very violent hug. And Astral Flow. Okay? Astral Flow, that's the one that can really fuck you up if you're not paying attention. If your mages don't have Stone Skin and Blink and all kinds of shit on to like make sure they live, they will wipe. Okay? It will hurt.
Important to note, Astral flows anywhere between 60% health and 40%, I think.
And it doesn't matter how many ads. He could have called one, none, doesn't matter. 60 to 40, he's gonna fuck you up. And it's instant. It's like boom.
Our
My favorite
paladins.
thing ever.
Go ahead.
My favorite thing ever is it astral flows, and you'll watch every other melee run for their lives, and I've still got like 800 health, and I'm like, why are you guys running? I don't understand what's happening.
I was just gonna say our paladins typically start rotating Rampart sub 60%, so the tank party's still alive when Astral Flow goes off.
Call out.
That's smart. Should put that down somewhere. That's smart, yeah.
Yeah, we usually have
Yeah, he
3
has all of
paladins,
the-
and we kind of like what we do is we position the paladins at like so if there's 4 positions around here in 4 cardinal directions, we have paladins at 3 of them, and then the melees will melee from that 4th side. But I mean, inevitably the melees all pull hate eventually, and it gets turned. But at least that way, like thieves, for example, always have a paladin they can get behind to do trick attack on.
Where do your mages stand safely then?
So in the direction of the melees. So that's considered the kind of safe direction. You need to pay attention, like, and even the melee who takes hate should be paying attention when they do to get Kirin spun back in the other direction. But that way the mages are only paying attention to like one direction. It's like, oh crap, one of those melees took hate. I need to just like reposition.
We do it north side, south side, melees on east, and casters on west.
That's what we do too.
That's safer sounding.
Another
Yeah.
good tactic now that we started using is having your melees come /thief.
Oh
And so
yeah.
every time they weapon skill, they TA onto a tank. So at no point does it turn towards the melee.
Yeah, especially
Should
warrior,
be.
two-handed warrior. That /thief is so good. I should also mention here, this was in the patch notes. We didn't talk much about. There was a bigger patch this Friday. You know, obviously Tav came out, but Kirin's evasion was lowered to match retail. It's actually been abnormally high. So for all you melees, nobody's capping accuracy in that fight. We'll be like soul voice madrigals and still be at like 85% or something.
Dude, I have as high as you can get Great Axe
Mm-hmm.
with Madrigal, and I was at like 60.
Yeah. So
And I'm
they
like,
they lowered his evasion. Well, they brought it to the actual level it should be, so it's down by about 40 points, which should give you about a 20% hit rate to any melee who's meleeing on it, which is huge. I mean, yeah.
Try to keep gravity on him too. That also lowers
Yeah.
evasion.
And Fenrir has a evasion down debuff as well.
That's nice. Other than that, like other than the astral flow and stuff, I think that's most of his things. He does have like magic that he could use, but just silence him. He's got Quake, Rasp, Sleepga. Oh, that's what he usually starts off with. It's the Sleepga. Just silence him immediately. Stonega 4 and Stone 5.
as a
But
side
yeah.
note too, every time he summons one of the lesser gods, they will immediately spawn and start casting any magic they have. So like if your tank vokes it and it's not coming, it's coming. It's just still casting the god it started spawned with.
Yeah. Now for his drops. What drops does he have? He's got D body, N body, W legs. Ooh. It's a scroll of Quake. Does he have that?
Yep.
Have we seen a scroll of Quake? I feel like we never see that. We always see the Raise 3 though. Orichalcum ingot, Shining Cloth, D ingot, and then his two drops that he would only have is a Kirin's Pole and the Kirin's Osode, which who would want a Kirin's?
On Horizon,
you talk.
drops Shalra 5, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yes he does. I forget. Who would want a Kirin's Osode?
I mean,
Who wants that?
Like
Wouldn't want.
everybody.
I can't use it.
Okay, everyone but a mage.
Isn't Kirin's Pole the only weapon that drops from a god that can be sold? Buzzard.
Yes. And it's the best two-handed staff for Stone Skin in the game.
Well, technically, isn't Kirin's also the only armor piece that can be sold also?
Oh.
I think so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know a red mage can't use the pole or the fucking Osode?
They get the W legs. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, you can't have everything.
Yeah, like after the paladins. Come on.
Yeah, it's paladins then red mages, and then whoever else.
Rune and Ranger, I think, are the only other ones that can wear them.
Yeah, Dark Knight.
Is it?
Dark Knight, yeah.
Ah.
I always forget about Dark Knight. They're usually
Yeah.
Not if they sub thief.
I really like that sub thief idea because honestly, there's no real point to sub Nin unless you're that outside party taking those ads.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea.
You can thank Snoochie Booch for yelling at me every time we ever killed anything, because every time I'd weapon skill, it would turn.
Not just you, he yelled at everybody. He was like, wow, can't everybody just sub thief and stop with all of this? Thanks so much. Please. Thank you. It works. It works great. I think that was all. That's all of it for all of the sky stuff that we could talk about. Do we have anything else? Any more stories? Anything? No?
My first Sky God ever, I called for help on. It was an introductory phase into a LS on retail. My first time ever at Sky. I think it was Suzaku.
Did they kick you?
No. Surprisingly.
Did they scold you?
Yeah, I got a little bit of scolding, but that was my introduction. That's my most memorable moment up there.
I've got two. One of them I think we've talked about on another episode, which is Ayame's voice hitting a pitch that her microphone couldn't pick up. Fighting Byakko because Snooch all of a sudden went from full health to no health. And like 40 health left because it got a triple attack with inline on. So it just wrecked his ass. And her voice hit a pitch that her mic cut out.
Okay, for the tank party, it's usually neon red mage and a white mage, usually Verity. So I'm like, it's my fault. That's how I feel when stuff like that happens.
When you pop Byakko and he does triple attack right off the bat, one thing I've started to do if the black mages aren't paying attention, because sometimes they'll just ghost pop him, I will spam flash as soon as he pops, and that flash, it'll hit every time, and it at least misses, or he'll miss one or two of his swings on a triple attack. It's been very helpful.
That's a good call out.
So it is a little bit of hate, but I'm a white mage, so I got some minus enmity gear, so they're able to get it back incredibly quickly.
Ooh.
And my other one's from Mr. Firebird, or Miss Firebird. Do you remember we didn't have anybody to bind for the chain spell? So there was no way to keep it in place. So our main paladin just stands there and goes, I have a fire resist set, and just tanked every single fire spell that hit him. Just standing there like nothing's happening, hanging out. Didn't die. I was amazed.
He was letting it cast on him.
More credit to his healer.
Happily.
It wasn't doing much to him, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't.
A real fire resist set should nerf that damage pretty extensively.
He spent millions on his fire resist sets. So.
We miss him. I think that wraps it up, though, for our Sky episode. Thank you to everybody who watched. Please be sure to check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And if you're interested in watching the video, it's on YouTube. And we will see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
But
Oof.